Administration wants to bring down the cost of housing for some.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen travels to Minneapolis to promote new investments meant to expand access to affordable housing, including providing $100 million through a new fund over the next 3 years to support affordable housing financing, boosting the federal financing bank's financing of affordable housing, and other measures. The Biden administration's new federal initiatives come as still high prices on groceries and other necessities and high interest rates have dramatically pushed up the cost of living in the post-pandemic years. The increased attention to home prices comes as the housing crunch becomes an increased issue in this year's election. I'm Julie Walker.
China and the European Union may hold talks on the EU's recent decision to sharply hike tariffs on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tablet what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hot one today.
Shut up.
To the one odds.
Just, it's every day this week. It's 100 and something.
But we do have rain chances, like, by midweek.
Oh, good.
Decent
Yeah, maybe
ones.
we'll get, like, a cloud.
Well, according to this, like you're 100 today, 105 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we're looking at a 20%. Thursday, 102 with 30%. Wednesday night, 40%. 20% on Thursday, 100.
Okay, but you know what that means?
20%, 103 on Friday.
100s and humidity. Like, even on the days where it was cloudy, like Friday, Saturday, that was nice, but it was just humid.
Yeah.
Everything was wet.
I guess my week prior being in Mexico and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you didn't notice, I guess, because you were used to the tropical.
No, but I'm saying it may have prepared me
Oh, yeah.
for this week.
Right.
That's not so bad.
No.
At least my glasses don't blow
Yeah.
up into a fog when I walk outside.
Yeah, when you're coming from the tropics into a little bit of humidity, yeah, it's
So maybe
understandable.
I'm a little bit more tolerant because of my week prior.
You got a little training. Fair
And
enough.
I did. Now, that being said, growing up in Maryland, I have lost being separated from Maryland for 30 years almost now, I guess, something like that. Since 96, so whatever
Right.
that is, 28 years. So I'm kind of I'm like you. I get out there and it's like, a little bit of humidity. And so when I went to Mexico I was like, this is miserable. This ain't right.
You know, one thing
How do humans live like this?
One thing I was surprised about is I didn't see either you or Kim posting the obligatory gigantic rum drink picture.
No, we had a.
Did you guys have like a fish bowl or anything like that?
No,
Share
some
one.
pina coladas and stuff, but not a communal drink.
I just feel like if you go to a place like Mexico or you're on a cruise, you just need a giant rum drink.
Yeah.
At least one with for the picture's sake.
Yeah. No, we didn't take any pina colada pics.
Darn.
Just
Who didn't take any pina pics?
But all fairness, no food pics either.
Okay, yeah,
no
that's true.
Food pics in general.
You aren't the kind of person that takes pictures of your food, though. Generally, are you?
No. Occasionally, if I make something,
Okay.
I'll be like,
So no. So then no, never.
yeah. I mean, there's a few if you look at my wall over the centuries, but yeah, by and large, most I don't have food pics.
I tend to imagine the only time that you cook is when the disco is involved. Otherwise, air fryer, baby.
He means disc cooker, not the 70s dance party.
Yeah. We're going to the discotheque and Mike is cooking. Huh?
I cook in bell bottoms, baby.
Hey, we all have our ways, okay? We all have our preferences. This Mike's sad.
Yeah, I can cook. Yeah, I just don't. Well, my wife and I neither are exactly chef type material.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have our things we cook, but neither one of us are exactly cooking aficionados.
I like cooking. Like, I really enjoy the art of it.
Yeah.
But it is the most frustrating thing known to man. Because if you do some things even slightly wrong, I curse more in the kitchen than probably any other room in my house. Because it just, I'm going to mess something up.
Depends on my mood. Some days it's the living room because I'm yelling at the TV.
It's true.
But yeah, it's
Depends on how close to the election we are.
But yes, I get what you're saying, you know. Because, well, and quite frankly, you know, certain ways it's just hard to make.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's just easier to buy the packet. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like I do fix Eggs Benedict every once in a while. But do you think I've ever actually made my own, like, homemade holiday sauce? No, I buy that McCormick packet, add the butter and milk or whatever you're supposed to add and call her good.
Yeah. Which, hey, that's still cooking.
Technically,
It
yes.
still counts.
But But to me, that's like saying opening a Betty Crocker cake mix and baking it and calling yourself a baker.
You know what?
Is not quite the same.
You got to crack an egg. Right there, you're a chef.
Well, and I was watching some show. I can't remember. This might have been on the cruise ship because programming was limited, and there was a lot of things I normally wouldn't stop to watch because there was like 3 channels. So there was one where the lady's talking about she's a baker, wants to be a baker, and so her friend got her a baker to bake with her to show her, and she literally was like, "Oh, you mean like we're baking?" She's like, "I just grabbed the box of Duncan Hines or grab the brownie mix and throw it in the bowl and add water or whatever."
Here's a fun fact. Did you know you don't even need the egg in the Betty Crocker mix? They literally added that so that you feel like you're cooking.
I think Big Egg came in and said
Big
something.
Egg. Yeah, Big Chicken had something to say about that
These
one.
people need an egg. Throw it in there. Just don't throw it in there. You know?
Big Cloaca came in with a thing or two to say.
Yeah, that was the result of Big Egg. But happy Monday.
Yes.
The last update I saw for fire stuff, I think it's about 10 hours old at this point, but they were talking the South Fork fire has consumed 17,551 acres. The Salt fire, 7,775 acres. The South Fork fire is 31% contained.
Right.
The Salt fire is 7% contained. Right now the fuels are conifer, grass, pine, and juniper is kind of what's being I was seeing, like, obviously you probably have seen the report stuff. They're letting people go back into Redosa
As of 8
today.
a.m. this morning.
And but be warned, when you go back, you may not find things like power, groceries, internet, fuel. So
Stocked grocery stores, they said a lot of those.
Yeah,
they're
bring it in
asking
with you.
if you're coming in, and by the way, residents only, and preferably not owners of vacation or
permanent
second
residents.
homes.
People that call Redosa home year-round.
And they're also saying make sure to bring about a week's worth of food and water because basically there's no word on when things are going to get back to normal.
Yeah. So
From
if
that
you're up there
perspective.
for your vacation, maybe stay out of there. But for folks that are, your whole life is there, then they're letting people back in. But like Sean said, with a week's worth of supplies, it's probably the best idea to have.
Load up a pack mule.
Yep. Because in some areas, depending on where you live and so forth, you're either coming back to nothing or you're coming back to houses and stuff. But no
best case scenario
and things.
Best case scenario, nothing happened to your home. You got a fridge full of rotten food now. because it just the power went out and everything just went bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
on,
bummer.
Maybe on how good your freezer is. Maybe some is just defrosted. You can still
like you got to feel for those people who just got like their sides of beef in, or who just like got back from the hunt and they have fresh kill. Bummer.
Yeah.
Like they just got it packed.
There might be some you can salvage. Depending how good your freezer is and how well it's packed. Because if it's a packed freezer, that would actually help you.
That's true because the stuff inside would cool the wall,
so
which
in
would
theory
cool.
it might keep itself cool. But I mean, that's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
You be careful with that. Just to be like, oh, it's still fine.
It's still good. It's just a little icy or
just
a little
brush
freezer
off
burn.
the salmonella. It'll be fine.
Well, don't eat that spot right there. It's just like bread. You cut around it.
Meat is not like bread or
It's
cheese,
not.
by the way. Please don't do that. Because if someone will do that, if you say
this deer is clearly infected. Well, that part is. This part is fine.
the green meat's the best.
That's a real roadkill mentality. It's like, hey, I'm eating the parts that didn't have tread on them.
right.
Okay.
Sometimes that. When it goes rigor mortis, that does add a few chewiness to it.
Tell you, nothing sets off the flavor of raccoon like a steel-belted radial. Just,
The crisscross treading that makes
That's
it
right.
good. Just grills up better.
pause attraction, you know you're going to have a good meal.
This was hit with a car with a flat rear axle. Dang it. But anyway.
Does the defense case hold water?
Then that pause track. Sorry.
My
You
cousin
youths
Vinny.
may not know what we're talking
No.
about.
And rightly so.
Of course, they show that movie like every other day somewhere on one of them channels.
Yeah.
I'm always flipping channels, and on one of them channels, my cousin Vinny.
That's one I think I would want to go back and rewatch with adult sensibilities. Because when I watched that movie, I was like 9.
Oh, I've seen it recently. Like,
Have you?
I've seen it in the last year. I know I have. It on TV one day. It was just on. You're like, oh, let's watch this.
You know another movie that just doesn't get enough credit? And actually, the last time I heard it talked about, they said it was a total bomb and it was a horrible movie. Gone Fishing.
The one with
Joe Pesci and Danny Glover.
I
Yep.
do. I have seen that movie. It was about 30 years ago whenever
Sure.
that thing came out.
It was, I mean, granted, I saw it when I was a youngster myself,
I
but
don't recall how goodness of it
I
is.
enjoyed the bejesus out of it. It's a great movie. Like I still remember the whole killer looks thing. And
To be honest, I think that was a movie that was meant for us in that time at that age. And anybody that wasn't of that age in that time that saw it thought it was hot garbage.
Right.
The rest of us are like, no, that's like a top 10 movie of all time.
well, because like I come from, I'm at the right age where I have seen Grumpier Old Men, and Gone Fishing, and I feel like they're basically the same movie.
Well, and to be honest, the Grumpy Old Men movies had way more popularity. Where Danny Glover and Pesci,
Joe Pesci, yeah.
that's not their genre.
It's not.
They could put foots in comedy world, but they're not comedic actors.
Jack
per se.
Lemmon and Walter Matthau were a comedic
Yeah.
duo. They were just they were set with that chemistry. It's
Yeah,
not,
we're-
you can't just put together a group and
Where I
have
mean,
magic
and the one thing that both of them that were in that had comedic elements was still an action movie at the end of the
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? They can play comedic elements in action movies, but they're not comedic stars.
right.
And let's face it, if you look at Pesci's movie filmology, the ones he gets all the credit for aren't the comedic ones.
No, they're the
Gone
gangster
Fishing,
movies.
The Super, if you remember that one.
Oh my God, yeah, I do. That was a long time ago.
Some of these movies don't hold up.
Yeah, they
But
don't
then
hold
again,
water.
And then Danny Glover, of course, you know, he's like the ensemble guy at the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like he never really was
The quote
guy.
the quote I saw, which I loved, was Gone Fishing is the movie where Danny Glover officially got too old for this.
But, you know, and you think of Danny, he's always part of ensemble cast. A stellar but he's rarely the leading man. If that makes in big
Oh yeah,
stuff.
he's always like the police chief
Yeah.
or the wise uncle.
the sidekick. Yeah, that's kind of his role. And I would even say in the Gone Fishing,
He was
he was the
the
sidekick.
sidekick. Yeah.
I was going to say the franchise, but I think he'd had more than one movie to be called a franchise.
Yeah.
So the canon that is Gone Fishing.
It's in the Gone Fishing universe.
Yeah, the MCU.
In the MCU. The expanded Gone Fishing universe.
The FCU. I think think I'm just gonna put "see you" on everything.
Right.
Or universe.
Dude. Okay, my favorite meme from the weekend is anytime something is slightly disappointing or upsets me a little bit. From now on, I'm just going to look down and go, "This is going to ruin the tour." The story goes: Justin Timberlake got popped for a DWI last week, and the cop didn't recognize him.
Exactly.
He looked at it, he goes, "This is going to ruin the tour." And the cop said, "What tour?" He said, "The world tour." Like it was like a scripted bit almost.
Yeah.
The world tour.
I saw something that made me laugh that reminded me of just it was a picture of the Timberlake mugshot, but they put like a filter so it looks like it's on an old school TV screen.
Right.
And this is what QVC looks back when it's looking at me at 3 a.m. Like if QVC could see back into my room, it's just seeing me.
Just bloodshot eyes.
With the screen. Pretty good. But anyway, happy Monday.
Yes.
Hope you're having a great day. Let me give you the rundown. We do have a full slate for you. We're going to replay an interview this hour. Crystal Noble with the Humane Society joined us Friday, give us an update. Of course, they have a distemperament issue with dogs, hence that awful timing with the fires
employees
and everything. So.
They're perfectly fine.
Yeah, they're fine. But they as of Friday, and I'm sure that's still the case today.
Yeah,
they're not accepting or adopting dogs.
I believe it's 2 weeks to 18 days or something like that.
So and they're right in the middle of all that. So it might be another week out. Bless you, Roy.
Bless you. Yeah.
And so they're but cats they're adopting and accepting and adopting. So,
right.
So but we'll play that update for you here. And of course, next hour we're going to replay, or we're going to have the Galacticom folks come in. So Elaine Mayfield, and she may bring a guest with her. And then Elliot Rodriguez talking Loan Depot with Loan Depot. He joins us once a month and gives sage home buying advice. He's the guy you talk to secure your finances for the house. Probably the guy you should talk to first before you go out home shopping and all that good stuff. But we'll have our monthly conversation with Elliot from Loan Depot here at around 9:15 this morning. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. Hotness is in the forecast for us this week.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot temperatures for the next couple of days. We have high pressure over the area for now and a low pressure trough just east of the New Mexico mountains. We'll be up around 100 for the afternoon high today. Lots of sunshine. Mid-70s and clear for the overnight hours. 100 to 105 for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. We do have a slim chance of a shower Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 72 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 52% with southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. Sunny, high of 100 today. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear tonight, looking at an overnight low of 76 degrees. South winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny, 105 for a high tomorrow. South winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 77. South winds 5 to 10. 30% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. Otherwise, sunny and 102. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain bumps up to 40% Wednesday night. Mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy, overnight low 75. 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. Partly cloudy, highs once again right around 100. 20% chance of rain Thursday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 75. 20% on Friday, 103 under partly cloudy skies. 20% Friday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 76. 30% on Saturday, mostly cloudy and 98. 40% Saturday night with an overnight low of 73 under cloudy skies, and a 30% on Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy with a high of 95. So, I don't think we officially entered monsoon, but it looks like we're starting to get monsoon-like forecasts here. By the way, for Doso, they do have rain chances throughout the entire week here. 30% today with 86 for a high. West winds 5 to 10. Good there. 20% for tonight. Winds will be around 5 miles per hour to the west, so not too bad there. They're looking at a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. Less than a tenth of an inch expected. Winds out of the west 5 to 10. 30% Tuesday night. South winds at around 5. And then looks like a 70% for Wednesday, 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, 70% on Wednesday night with, they're not talking winds by Thursday yet, 60% on Thursday, 50% rain on Friday, 50%. So they're looking at rain chances all week, and it looks like winds sticking around mostly 5 to 10, which is pretty good. So looks like the weather, at least from my perspective, looks like it'll be good for cooperating with the firefighting efforts up there in those fires in Reynosa. So knock on wood there. All right, 7:24. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break. We'll get you in your livestock report with Smiley Wooten for your Monday morning here. Quick break as well. Then we're going to play our interview with Crystal from the Humane Society. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A light June run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings with condition. We expect to sell 1,000 head. Break it down like this: 100, 125 weight cows and bulls, 75, 100 pairs bred cows, 750, 800 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 35 to 40 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white face, and Charolais crosses with Angus and Charolais crosses, Charolais calves at side. These pairs 5 to 10 years old. 60 steers, Corrales Dairy right here at Roswell. Ex-quality Angus and Sim Angus cross steers, black-hided, 2 rounds of shots, bunk broke, 300, 550 pounds. Also 58 heifers, ex-quality Angus and Sim Angus cross heifers, black-hided, 2 rounds of shots, bunk broke, 275, 550 pounds, and 56 Holstein steers or straight Holsteins, 2 rounds of shots, bunk broke, 250, 450 pounds. 24 calves and light yearlings, the Nielsen Ranch, St. John's, Arizona. Ex-quality black white face Angus crossbreds. Cattle are weaned, thin condition, 350, 500 pounds. 21 calves, Ward Farms, Balmorhea, Texas. Ex-quality Charolais crossbred calves, medium condition, 400, 550 pounds. 28 light yearlings, R&R Ranch, Horizon City, Texas. Good quality crossbred yearlings, weaned 90 plus days. Virus Shield 6, 7-way, 450, 650 pounds. Several smaller sets of high-quality calves and light yearlings, thin to medium condition, also 15 to 20 roping-sized calves. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sale pairs bred cows, 9:30, 9:45. Calves and yearlings 10 to 10:30. Pretty light on cows today, so don't be late. No sale next Monday, July the 1st, in observance of Independence Day. Be back selling Monday, July the 8th. We expect to sell 1,000 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Calling all men. June is Men's Health Month, and Artesia General Hospital wants you to step up and take care of your health. Every year, thousands of men in the U.S. die from preventable diseases. Take control of your health today and schedule a visit before something is wrong. Artesia General Hospital has specialists in a variety of men's health disciplines, but your primary care provider is the best place to start. Take your health seriously for yourself and for your loved ones. Visit artesiageneral.com/men's health or call 575-746-3119.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
You received a social media message or text from an unknown number. They started a conversation with you, and over time, they earn your trust. Then, they encourage you to invest online or buy cryptocurrency. And when you do, they disappear, along with your money. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and now officially joining us in studio, Crystal Noble with the Roswell Humane Society back with us. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning.
First things first, you may have seen on social media, I think it was a couple days before actually the fires and everything went down. You guys took in a animal out of animal shelter. Turns out it had distemper, which now has turned your place quarantined, locked down for dogs.
Yes.
Until the distemper stuff goes away. So unfortunately, the timing completely sucks on this one. But Roswell Humane unfortunately couldn't intake dogs with going on in the Ruidoso fires and all that because of this distemper deal. Good news is the cat side's unaffected. So if you're looking for a cat, if you're wanting to bring a cat a loving home,
we have a lot of cats,
or if there's cats that need a place, we can accommodate those right now.
Yes. So what we did was we took all the wire kennels we had and a large portion of plastic crates, clothing, blanket, sheets, pillows, towels, anything the thrift store could bag up, and dog food and cat food. We took that out to the fairgrounds on Tuesday morning.
Great.
So that way they could set up kennels for people bringing their animals in that are staying at the fairgrounds.
And to my knowledge, they are still the best equipped to handle animals right now is at the fairgrounds.
Yes, and then we also took some out to the Institute because they had people show up there.
Yeah, the Godfrey Centers have some little, for small dogs and things. Don't be bringing big stuff, but if your family is displaced and you got little puppy, Fluffy or whatever, they can accommodate. Yeah.
We took stuff out to them too. The thrift store right now, if you have a Ruidoso ID or an ID from the area that it was affected by the fires, come in and they're going to give you a bag, and then you can go through and pick out clothing, stuff that's your size that you need, and you can bag up, and it's going to be completely free to the residents or the people who were affected by the fires.
Excellent. And please, for these groups that are doing that, if you run low on stuff, please share the other places that are doing it too. And that's why it's so important we all pick those areas, whether it's your home church or whatever, get involved, because just about every church is doing something in some way, shape, or form, whether it's providing meals or providing clothing. And to be honest, when it comes to clothing, they're a little bit better staffed to do that, because things like the Red Cross, the emergency disaster, they do not have the personnel to sort through the clothing, to put it by size, by serviceability, so forth and so on. Whereas the churches, thanks to volunteers like yourself, they're able to have people, okay, these are all the size L's, these are all the mediums, you know what I mean? And they can do that. So utilize those resources. Please share those people that are getting involved. That's the best way, like you said, with the Humane Society, with the fairgrounds and what they're doing there. Reach out to these churches and organizations on that clothing side. If you want to donate the water, monetary, toiletry, hygiene, safety, security, those kinds of things, that's Salvation Army and some of the other organizations out there.
A lot of the people that have gone through their clothing and donated it have been wonderful helping. There are a lot of things that people might not think that they need right away. So the thrift store is offering, assistance to help them.
Yeah. When you have those collections of shoes and all that, right now, people are like, I only got the one pair that I was coming out of the fires with, and that's it. So,
right.
Yeah.
For the people not affected by the fire, that are living their normal daily life, they have a ton of bathing suits, swimming suits, formal wear.
'Tis the season for swimming, and lots of weddings and quinceañeras this time of year. Yeah.
And then all shoes that are marked with an X are going to be half off.
Excellent.
So if you want to
by the way, these clothing is deeply discounted before they start marking them down even more, by the way.
So if you don't have stuff that you're able to donate to help out and you want to come and buy stuff to go donate, now's the time to do it. These people that have been displaced from their houses, they're going to, need pots and pans, kitchen stuff, beds.
Real quick too, while we're talking about donations, I know, like you said, because of the distemper situation, if people want to donate dog food and stuff, should they just take it to the fairgrounds at this point, or can you accept some of that?
No, we can accept it.
Okay.
when they come to the door, because the dogs obviously are in the back, they can just bring it in through the front, or if they want to pull in the parking lot, we can go out and get it. So they don't have to come in.
So if you do want to keep dropping off food and stuff, because there are dogs there that need to eat, even though they can't go out and play.
Yes, unfortunately, we had to stop all dog walking until even after this is over.
But they still poop, they still eat, they still live. So those needs are met there.
They are.
I just wanted to check first, as maybe you don't want people over there, so maybe but no, bring them by. Call ahead if you're going to make these kind of donations. That way they can make.
We actually have a lady that called yesterday who's driving from Lubbock to bring donations down here for the Ruidoso.
Love it.
And she's like, do you guys need dog food? I was like, we always need dog food. She goes, I'm coming in on Sunday. And I said, we'll make arrangements.
Yeah.
So if you're from out of town, you're coming in and you need special
if you want to be
arrangements
generous,
call.
They will jump through hoops to help you accommodate you helping out. Because,
yes.
Because at the end of the day, the Humane Society would not be standing had it not be for people doing things just like that. So that's how it exists because of that. So.
And so if you want to continue to help, this Saturday, they're going to make all clothing half off.
All right. So do a little shopping, not blow your budget, but at the same time, help out the animals here in our shelter.
Yes. And then you can turn around and go donate it to one of the places that's accepting clothes.
Love that. Great idea. It's like, I just bought some shorts and pants and some dresses for folks. And
here's some shoes.
Undergarments. Undergarments are a big one. I know that. So a lot of that's coming new, but most people aren't too keen on wanting used undergarments. Do you blame them?
No, and I agree. I do agree.
So maybe buy that stuff new. When you go to and a tip of the cap to our Walmarts and Targets and all that. They're making donations of things like that directly. I know Walmart was making some monetary donations and things. I caught some stories at Target. I guess they donated a bevy of undergarments to the Godfrey Center.
Wonderful.
For folks there, and their stuff's all brand new, so it's just and it's got sizes right on it. Here's the mediums, and here's your boxer briefs, or you.
But that everybody always badmouths Roswell. Well, Roswell's come together to do a lot for these people, and
Roswell and the community outside of it has just been the whole state is really.
From
rally.
Roswell down to Artesia, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, it's just been like a line in networking,
Sure.
and
this is, to be honest, this is why I've been telling people with the animals, whether it's dogs and cats or horses and chickens and sheep and goat, the fairgrounds is your best, because not only can they, if they can't help you directly there, which I think they've pretty much been able to. They are the ones connecting with our farmers and ranchers, and because it's the county fair. This is the people that do this.
That's where everybody goes.
And so when their resources are getting stretched thin, they turn to the farmers. We got a couple acres we can throw some horses on, or we got some alfalfa we can get feed to these guys, or we got cages to house some dogs and cats and things. Then by extension, they're in touch with Lee County folk, the Lee County Fair folks, the Eddy County Fair folks, the Curry County Fair folks, who all are opening their homes and facilities to accommodate, just like our Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds are doing. So they're kind of the coordinators of that. So when they can't help direct, they know the people that have overflow resources available. So
and we have a list of places that we've contacted with that, like if your animal was taken to the Lincoln County Humane Society, arranged for transport out, we have a list of places that were receiving transport. So if your animal was taken and you went another direction, you can meet back up with your animal.
And I know there's been some of that, initially to, I think, Lincoln, but then they had to evacuate there, and so they start coming down here, and you may have been on the other side of the mountain, and you're like, all right, where's my horse at now?
Right.
Your horse is in Roswell. Your horse is in Artesia, or whatever.
Yeah, so we have a lot of those phone numbers to get you connected to help you find where they transported your animal to. So if you are displaced from your animal and you weren't able to ride with them, we can help you find them.
Absolutely. But if you please keep reaching out for donations and everything to the Humane Society. Yes, bring those donations. Whether you're donating, like I said, if it's thrift store stuff, call ahead. Especially if it's larger things, so we can make arrangements to make that happen. But if it's a bag of dog food or something, just come on by, call, or if it's 2 a.m, maybe wait till the morning. But during business hours,
we don't have a drop box for that time of the morning.
Unfortunately, and when they've tried to do things in the past, people with lesser little, people that don't get it or they steal and they just vandalize and they actually cause more damage than help here. So unfortunately, overnight drop-offs and things like that aren't feasible without major consequences for doing it. So we can't do it that way. So just call, like I said, leave a voicemail if you don't get someone live there, because it is a busy time right now, and they'll get back to you quick. Say, yes, we would love your dresser, or we would love your bedroom or microwave. Can you bring it by tomorrow, or if we can pick it up, but it'll be next Tuesday. Can we do that, or whatever? Give them a chance to work logistics, and then they would be happy to help you out on some of that stuff.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and please don't forget. Please keep doing it, because every little bit that you donate to a thrift store, every money that's been generated from that goes back to paying vet bills, cleaning supplies, dog food, cat litter, whatever the needs are of the shelter. That money, and it's great because that money doesn't come with strings. Like sometimes they get grant monies and things in through other sources, which is amazing, but it's earmarked for very specific projects or things. This is a be-all, catch-all. It's like, oh, shoot, we're running low on litter. All right, let's go to the store and pick up a couple pallets or whatever you do,
It's normally a pallet of litter.
Yeah, they don't grab just like 1 30-pound bag and call it good. They need a bunch of that. But,
no, we do.
But that's what it's used for. So by you donating, by you coming in there and shopping for those deals, getting those 2-for-1 sales or deeply discounted, yes, you're saving yourself a little money, but at the same time, you're keeping the Humane Society going so it can continue to help people and animals.
And if you
for the years
want to make a donation for something specific, our low-income voucher program is stopped at the moment.
So we could use some more of that to build those coffers back up, which, in case y'all haven't heard, because we haven't said it but a million times on the show, Roswell has a pet overpopulation problem.
Yes, we do.
There's only one way to fix it. Mature ownership of pets, getting your pet spayed and neutered, doing those kind of things. There's ordinances and all kinds of things in place, but you and I know very well, wink, nod, and they'll do what they do and things. But please be the good steward. If we can, those vouchers are the difference between people getting animals spayed and neutered and not sometimes because they can't afford it. And unfortunately, too many unintentional things happen.
Yes.
And now we're stuck with litters of animals that we have no way to handle or cope. And then the shelters get filled back up, and hence the problem we're sitting in right now. So if you wanted to donate to contribute to those vouchers, then that's a great way to do it.
You can say specifically this is for the spay neuter program.
Yeah.
Because right now it is depleted. There is nothing left of it right now.
And there's no well to tap into at the moment. So
no.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get funding to go back into it, so that way we can continue to help the community and keep the animals, or keep
to be honest,
getting
that's the
spay or
best
neutered.
tool we have to fight the overpopulation problem. And I get it. Money's rough. Hey, I got to pay for medicine or pay for a spay or neuter, and people are choosing the medicine, as most people would. But we want to make it so that that's not an option. And again, this is why we also talk about being a pet ownership and why the Humane Society has the rules in place that they strictly enforce before they allow someone to adopt. It's because you're taking on a life, and that life is a wonderful thing, and it's going to be a great, awesome addition to your family, but they aren't cheap. They aren't free. No. Even people say, oh, we're giving you a free puppy. Yes, the puppy may be free at the moment, but the health and maintenance and life of that puppy is not free. It eats like you do. It gets like you do. It has health issues like you do. And as mommy and daddy, or that's your job to make sure that they are happy, healthy, and living the best life possible.
And because they can't speak to you, sometimes you have to have emergency situations, which are not cheap.
Exactly. And there's a reason why pet insurance is now not just something we looked at like, what a crazy idea, to like, I don't know, should we get it?
Right. Yeah, it's more like, should I drop my insurance and get pet insurance?
Is there like puppy Aflac? What's going on here?
Oh, man. Okay, that needs to be a thing.
Right.
Needs to be.
It's gonna be
Pet flack.
Supplemental income to pay for when my pet's homesick.
Pet Affleck.
FMLA for your pet.
I like it.
We need to open up to this.
Yeah, I like it. But and so unless you, that's why the Humane Society is stringent on the rules they are. That's why we say what we say, because we want the best possible lives for all of these animals and for you, the pet owner. But there's an amount of responsibility to be a pet owner, just like owning children. Is it as great? Yes, in some aspects, very much. I mean, sure. Looking at your kid, looking at your dog, you don't look at them the same way for love. But as far as cost to feed them, to house them, to educate them, they're getting comparable.
I saw a video the other day. I showed it to John, and it says kids cost $22,000 a year and dogs cost $3,500 a year. Therefore, I'm having 4 dogs and still saving money. I was laughing. I was like, wow, that's funny.
It is, but depending on the dog, it may not be too. Because especially if it's, certain dogs are just sickly. Like if they were exposed to a lot of stuff as younger, purebreds are notoriously sick animals. I don't want to get down this debate, but I've always been a mutt person for a reason. They're usually healthier, happier animals. I've never been one to, I'll watch the dog shows and laugh and enjoy them like everybody else, but I would never compete or put an animal through something like that, me personally. So, so I don't care about AKC registrations and all that. I'm like, me as a person would do that poorly. Why am I going to expect my dog to do that?
I can't even have stand proper.
Right? Why are you touching me there? I don't appreciate it.
That is my bubble.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
See, you know what? I would bite somebody. I would be put on a rabies quarantine because I would bite somebody.
It's like, you're lifting things that you shouldn't be lifting, bud.
Right. People get mad. Oh, the dog bit me because I did this. Well, it had every right to. You were in its bubble.
If that thing did with you, would you be salty? Yes, you would. So that's, perspective sometimes, folks.
Think about it. How would you feel if, you just, somebody walked up and just started groping on you? So. You got to ease into it. You got to start slow before
I'm a drink first.
Throw me in that boat.
That's right. Yeah. That's why the doctor warms his hands before he does what he's going to do. Just saying.
And they announce touching the right side.
That's right. We're going in from the left. Do not reflex. But, so... so I've always been that way with Sam. So please understand, when the Humane Society is like, we love to adopt your dog, but I got to see your yard first. I got to, because they don't want these pets coming back. Because unfortunately, what happens is, and I get, the idea of having a dog in the family seemed wonderful till the dog started pooping on things or chewed up someone's shoes or something. And realize that, they don't just come automatically, trained.
This isn't an auto thing?
No, you have to teach it your lifestyle. You have to show it that not to chew these things. You have to give it alternatives to do it. Your puppy is teething. That's why it's chewing all your stuff. Give it something else to do that. And then and hide your shoes better, for Pete's sake.
Put up a puppy gate.
Yeah, and the ones you don't care so much about, those are the ones you leave by the bed.
Pretty much.
Because they will. All puppies, just like your kids, make mistakes. Those puppies and cats and dogs, they make mistakes too.
They do, and they have to be taught the same way.
Yes, exactly.
And
I guarantee once they get it, it's going to work like a champ. Because at the end of the day, 99% of dogs are happiest when they're making you happy. And that's why you go over the top of the rewards when they poop outside correctly and all that. You're sending signals saying, this is the way to do it. Good job. Don't do it the other way. And that's how they get the message. So,
my dogs have been housebroken for a very long time, and I still praise them when they go potty outside.
Yeah. It's just because it's reinforcement. It's what they know. It's the reminder that they're doing. And trust me, if you like your pets to be on your routine, that's how you do it. I was joking about my cats yesterday and the routines and where they do. I go to the bathroom. The one's got the one right there.
I bet they were happy when you got home.
Yeah, they are.
Did you get an earful?
Well, one tried to play it like I'm mad at you for about an hour, but that changed. Yeah, and then the other one was just like, let me do affectionate things that she hates normally. Like I get the nuzzling her on, and she'll put up with it, but kind of complain. And this time, all I heard was purring. So I'm like, you little sucker, you like this.
She's like, Daddy, don't you ever leave me again. I'm letting you do this.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's how that happens. Is the routines, the training, and doing it the right way, and that's, if you need help with that, please. And I know there's a lot of animal trainers out there, and I'm sure they do amazing jobs, but especially when it comes to dogs, you have to be the one involved there, because if you're not, then
basically,
the pet will listen to everybody but you.
Training is human training. It's not so much, your dog getting the training. It's you being taught how to talk to your dog.
Yeah.
So your dog knows how to listen to you.
It's understanding their language while they're trying to understand your language.
Pretty much.
And that's and unfortunately the dogs are much better at figuring out your language than you are theirs. So they're going to adapt quicker, but you've got to give them the indicators and tools to so you jive. So when you say okay or whatever it is, the dog's like, "Oh, I know what that means. It's time for this," or whatever you do. And that's how you train dogs. And especially my experience with labs and things like that, they just love to please. So when you say, "Come on, boy," and the boy comes on, and you're like, "Good job, good boy," they love that, and they're going to remember that every time you do that. And so that's training. It training. Part of when you say dog training, part of it's just living life with your dog is training. Yes, you're like, when they do something wrong, you certain ways to correct them. To be honest, kennel training is by far the easiest, best, and most sensical way to teach your dogs about potty training, because dogs instinctually don't poop where they sleep. That's just in the DNA. So you train them by putting them into bed in the thing at night, and next thing you know, they stay all night without going to the bathroom. But be warned,
first thing
at
in the
6
morning,
a.m. or whenever the earlier you get up, the first thing you do is you take them out and let them go do their thing.
They gotta go.
But you're establishing the routine, and then at some point when the dog gets a little older, you don't need the kennel anymore. You just have a dog bed sitting there, and they do the exact same thing. They go to bed, go right to bed, and they will stay there because that's just what they do. Then they don't have a cage around them anymore because that safe space is now looks a little different, but they know it as their safe space.
Our little dog, she puts herself to bed when she's tired of everything, and she will put her paw and she will close her door. Like she's like, nope, lights out.
Yeah, we're done.
We are done. I am done with you. I am done doing this. I am done.
Yep. Yeah. If you don't adhere to the schedule, sometimes we've had the cats like, "Oh, we're going to bed. I know you're staying up late, but we're done with you, and we're going to the back."
Well, it's like funny because like she'll run, she'll play, and then she plays with Titus and Toby, and then they romp and roar all over the place. And then when she's done with them, like she's like, "I don't want you to put your nose anywhere near me." She goes up to her kennel, she closes her door, and if they walk by, she's like,
Just right.
"Excuse you."
Calgon time, take me away. Calgon signs up. You can't talk to me.
And it's just funny. And then whenever she's done, she's had her little come over this time. She opens the door and she gets out.
Back to thing, yeah. That's the beauty of having pets and things like that. But to get there, you've got to make them a part of your life.
Yes.
You've got to, and so when we say training, it's really about incorporating your lifestyle so they can know what it is and how they can fill into that and follow along. And dogs particularly, and even cats. They won't admit it, but they will. They will adapt and adjust to your routine.
Yeah. So. My cat Bella, what she does at night, she sleeps right below my feet. But she has this thing. If I sleep in too long, she will get up and she'll just lay on me to wake me up and for me to leave because she wants to get where I was sleeping because it's nice and warm.
Yeah, she kicked him out of the bed.
She tries to move me out so she can get my
No, that's
pretty much,
funny.
especially when Kim's back into work mode where she's going to get up for school every day. I can guarantee you, 6 o'clock every morning, the cat is laying in Kim's warm spot where she just gotten up not a few minutes ago.
Yes,
you can set your watch to it. That's where she is. So, but yeah, again, that's what they do. You learn that, you get your routines, and that's the beauty of pets. So please, if you're looking to make a pet a part of your home, and you have the means and the abilities, I guarantee it's going to make it a much better experience for your family. Whether you live by yourself and looking for companionship or you've got a couple kids and you want to incorporate it into the family, It's okay to use the pets as responsibility teaching tools for your children. That's fine. However, they will fail, and you are the backup, and you need to know that. So whenever you're like your kids, you're in charge of feeding the cat or the dog every morning, you better pay attention that they do it, because when they don't do it, you're the one that's going to have to do that. And especially when it comes to feedings and stuff like that, time is of the essence. You want to establish routines, you got to do it at the same time. And the pets will learn it, and then they will tell you when the time is, because they know it too. They have their internal clocks going, but
they do.
But you got to create a pattern to establish that pattern, if that makes sense. So be mindful as parents that your kids don't always do those kind of things. You're going to have to be the one that makes sure that happens. So you need to parent your kids to make sure the kids are being parents to the pets. If you have to be just as involved, because they will mess up. The dog will poop in the house or pee in the house. It will, guarantee. It will chew up a shoe or sneaker or something that makes you mad. You're going to have that happen. It's just being a pet owner. You got to prepare and deal and understand that. And once you do, it's such a better experience. So it's just tips every time.
It does. Before we go,
yes,
we have a cousin in California, Susie. Hi, she's watching. Today
Nice.
is her birthday.
Ah,
So we will see you soon.
All right.
Very, very
Happy
soon.
birthday.
And Roswell says happy birthday to you.
absolutely. Is she coming out? Are you going out to her? Or?
We're going to California
Oh, nice. Very
for
good.
the family reunion.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah,
when is that? Later this summer? Or?
July.
Oh, very
We
good.
leave July 10th.
So are now is this your side or your husband's side of
John's
the family?
side.
Okay, very good. So I imagine you're going to meet some relatives you've never met for the first time.
I met quite a bit last year. There
Okay.
were some that weren't at the reunion last year that I'm hoping will be at the reunion this year.
Oh, cool.
And then we have a surprise going with us this year that nobody knows at the reunion yet.
Ah, all right. Well, and we can't let it on the bag because, like you said, there's family listening. So
Yeah.
you will have to wait like everybody else.
Mhm.
Sorry, you don't get insider thing. I appreciate you, trying to pick it up and listening, but we're not going to let the cat out of the bag unless it's not a cat, or is it a cat? I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody asked if it was a snake. One of the cousins said, "Is it a snake?" Oh, no. Why am I going to take a snake across state lines?
Well, some people think they're very valuable gifts. Didn't your mom get one as a
my
wedding
gosh.
gift? Yeah.
My grandfather's crazy, and he had rattlesnakes, and he kept them in burlap sacks. And he would make my mom milk them sometimes. Well, when my dad and my mom got married, guess what he gave them for a wedding gift? I kid you not. He was a little off.
My next question is, what did your mom do with said rattlesnake?
She didn't
was it the
take
family
him
pet
home.
for a wedding,
No,
or
she
did
didn't
one of
take
the
it
other
home.
cousins take it? What happened to
I
this
don't
thing?
know.
Did it end
I
up
don't
in
know.
somebody's garden?
I know.
What happened?
I know that my mom and my dad would not have taken that home.
But
Just so everybody knows, no, I'm not bringing a snake. It's not a snake, okay?
she goes, I wasn't, but now,
I'm going to get a burlap sack with one of those fake snakes.
yeah, throw it in there.
Oh,
Jake, the fake snake Roberts. But anyway,
happy birthday, Susie.
yes, happy birthday. Hope it's a wonderful day. And is she in a part of California where it's sunny and 70 all
She's
the time?
in Turlock, where it's hot.
Okay.
She's in Central.
So sorry. But, it'll be nice soon. It's California.
I know.
But, so folks, thrift store, come by, shop this weekend. Get some
Yes.
incredible deals.
If you really don't need anything but you want to help, go buy and go donate.
Go buy it and donate it to one of the churches or other groups that are doing some stuff out here. Be a great thing. And if you are in need, and I would imagine too, if you come in and you're an evacuee and you're looking for stuff, talk to the staff. They'll be happy to help you and take care of what you need. They'll probably say, yeah, you need some shoes. Here's some shoes. Go get some shoes.
Yeah,
You need the thrift store does that kind of stuff all the time, working with the Refuge or various other nonprofits that have shelter or have a store or things like this. And so you get guests from the homeless side to the domestic side. They're coming in doing little shopping sprees, and vice versa. If you have people with needs, you're over there helping out with and so there's a very good community that way. So if you do have evacuees come through and need assistance and that, you visit pretty much any of our thrift shops here.
I think they've all opened up to any of the refugees needing help. They've all pretty much opened up to help them.
Please come in and they'll help you as much as they humanly possibly can, or put you in touch with people that may have the resources you need.
And like Jocelyn and I were talking a little bit ago, not every place is going to have the sizes that everybody needs. We are all different sizes.
That's true.
So, and that's one of the good things about being able to go through and pick the stuff is, you can go into the dressing room, try it on, and if it fits and it's comfortable, you could put it in your bag.
Yep.
And then that way, you're not obligated to get something that's not going to
Too
fit or
big
be
or too
comfortable.
small, or
And it'll help you regardless. It might not be what you had, but it's better than not having anything.
Absolutely right. You may not be like, well, I'm not a polo fan or whatever it is, but hey, it's covering my body and it fits. That's but you're right. So please, and if you want to help that way, please reach out to these churches, various organizations, because I know I've heard a lot of people, where can I protect clothes? And those are the folks that, because it does take a little bit more manpower to get those distributed and sorted and make sure they're clean and serviceable and so forth and so on. So, good deal. RoswellHumane.org is the website. You can become a member if you want to see what pets, like I said, dogs. How long do you much think the quarantine will be going for?
So next week on the 27th, as long as we have not had anybody restart with new symptoms,
okay,
then I will reevaluate with the vets, and then they will say yay or nay.
Okay, so maybe before the end of the month, we should be able to adopt and take in dogs again.
But if you look on our website, once everything is clear, we have a big thing on the dog page that says no dogs available at this time. We will take that off.
That'll be down, and that's like the checkered flag. Come on in and race them. But cats are still looking, so if you see cats on there you love,
and you can come in with cats.
And if you do see the dog on there, the pictures, and you fall in love, don't hesitate to call and ask and see how it's doing. And when the quarantine's lifted and that dog is free to become a full-time family member, you can come on in, and you can even get the paperwork and stuff started. So by the time the dog's ready, all we need to do is take it to the vet to get chipped or whatever it needs done, and back to your home to start a life with you. That's so you can do some of that now if you do find one online, RoswellHumane.org. They're like, oh, there's our next Scruffy or whatever it is. There it is.
We need to get him a new name. It's always Scruffy.
Well, there was Fluffy earlier.
Yeah.
And so I'm working it. Maybe I'll pick a letter. Someone give me a letter each week and B's, and I'll just have to use all B dog names. I don't know. Barney, Barry, Betty, whatever.
You notice how they all have the E at the end? Fluffy.
Yeah.
Betty.
Well, dogs
Barney.
need an E at the end.
Why?
Sissy.
That was our dog.
That was our
dog.
Titus.
I know.
Honey Bee.
That's just kind of where the brain went. So.
Toby.
Our family dogs like Daisy, Millie, Sissy. Yeah, they've all had to eat.
I'm not alone there. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And let us know what else we can do, if anything.
Thank you.
Let us know. 9:58, quick break before they kick me off the...
Watching Wall Street, the Dow up 263. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty-free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
A fire at a lithium battery factory near the South Korean capital. At least 19 people killed, 7 others injured.
Several victims remain unaccounted for. South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol has issued emergency instructions urging the authorities to mobilize all available personnel and equipment to focus on searching for and rescuing people. The operation faces significant challenges. Lithium reacts intensely with water and is difficult to extinguish, meaning firefighters were unable to enter the site for a while. South Korea is a leading producer of lithium batteries used in electric vehicles around the world.
The BBC's Rachel Lee. China and the European Union may hold talks on the EU's recent decision to sharply hike tariffs on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles. China's Commerce Ministry, as well as the German Ministry of the Economy, say that each side is willing to hold discussions on the matter. News and analysis, townhall.com. There's now a reward for information on a deadly wildfire in New Mexico.
The FBI offering up to $10,000 for information on the South Fork and Salt fires in New Mexico that killed 2 people, destroyed hundreds of homes, and forced thousands to flee. The FBI suggesting someone started the fires. Meanwhile, Mike McMillan with the U.S. Forest Service says 1,100 firefighters battling the blazes, making progress.
The rains have enabled us to go direct on the fire's edge and create these containment lines.
But he says steep rocky terrain is making it difficult.
We plan on inserting firefighters with helicopters.
I'm Julie Walker.
Man who turned himself in at the Columbus, Ohio police headquarters says he was driving the car seen fleeing early Sunday morning. A shooting in the capital city that sent 10 people to hospitals. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm breathing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. Hope your Monday's going well so far as start a new week here. And, of course, last week, kind of a crazy week with everything going on with the fires in Reynosa. So they continue. They're starting to get some containment on that now. I was thinking one of the fires I was reading, the last update was about 31% contained, and the other about, I think around 7-10% contained.
They still haven't put them out?
No. They're still going, but at least there's some containment numbers. It was 0% contained up until during the weekend here, I think, at some point that changed. But yeah, and now, of course, you heard on the news, the national news here just a few minutes ago, that FBI is looking for some people they think are responsible for the fire. So,
yeah.
Now that we're a week from fighting the fire and still fighting the fire, now we can turn the attention on why did this happen?
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. So, which is, and of course people a week ago were speculating, it's fire, and you're right, but sometimes you gotta, all right, let's worry about the fire and what people need, and let the investigators that are investigating do the investigations, and let us just handle the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of where now it's for people, like, and I'm sure they've been investigating this since suspicions that it may have been started by something other than lightning occurred here. So now we're just curious to see what happens next.
Space lasers.
Well, they think it's arson, and I bet they probably got. I'm willing to guess they've got a handful of people that they're suspecting, and of course they're putting out the APBs for everything and gathering all information, but. I bet they've got some leads and some things they're checking out, and I'm sure at some point we'll hear we caught so-and-so, or this is who we believe did it, whether, I've heard all kinds of rumors on who it is. I've heard everything from disgruntled hotshot workers to other things.
I don't know.
I just whatever happens, but we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Maybe we got Maui'd. Maybe New Mexico got
maybe, and was there blue roof spared or whatever the nonsense that the conspiracy theorists come up with, whatever.
Yeah,
Oprah's house was fine. She had a blue roof or whatever the people say. Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe they haven't put them out by now, though.
Yeah. No, I can, because it's the weather conditions make it very hard, and those fires spread quick. And when that winds,
I thought it rained over there.
Well, I mean, there's rain, but then you got flooding issues with burn scars, and then and the rain doesn't put out all the fire; it's putting out and so to get workers to where the areas to fight it can get tricky when the weather starts. So it is a cocktail of issues that are going on there, and so some days they're having good days because the weather's working and they're able to get folks where they need to, and other days it's a little trickier to do that. So that's what they're dealing with now. But there's some containment, which is a good thing. Looking at the weather for Ruidoso this week, they've got rain chances all week, anywhere from 30 to upwards of 70 later in the week. So and the other good part is looking at winds. They're pretty much lingering at 5 to 10 miles per hour most of the week for Ruidoso. So all that is good news for firefighting. So I'm going to guess we'll see those containment numbers start rising pretty quickly here this week as they get a better handle on this fire and everything. Like, in case you haven't heard, they're letting Ruidoso folks back in today, but be warned, they're only letting in permanent residents, folks that they call Ruidoso home year-round.
Yes.
And they also warn people that amenities aren't available. Things like power, water, internet, grocery stores, fuels. Those things aren't in place. So
just go back for your belongings.
Well, or they're saying you can go back to move back in and assess damage and do what you got to do, but come prepared to live without resources for a week is what they're saying. So if you come back into town, make sure you got groceries, water, fuel, whatever you need to get you through for about a week is what they're telling folks. So if you do go back today to go check things out and have no intentions of leaving, then you might want to stock up the trailers and truck beds before you head back into your homes and things.
All you Ruidosians or
Dosians.
I like that. Ruidosian?
I don't know, what is it?
Is that like Laotian?
You're on.
Ruidosos?
I'm Ruidosian.
Ruidosite?
Yes. There we go.
Ruidosian, I think is, I don't know. You call yourself whatever you want.
Ruidoso citizens, why don't you call in? Let us know.
There you go. Ruidosites, Ruidosians.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious.
I'm going to go with there you go. They're docents.
They can lead a tour in a pinch.
But anyway, if you call it home year round, then that's the folks they're talking about here. Vacation homes, people that I was going to Ruidoso for vacation this weekend. Although I hear tell they might be able to open the horse track up as early as this weekend. I saw a story last night where they kind of hunkered down for some of the horses and stuff were there, and from what I was hearing in the story, they kind of have their own fire suppression, so they're kind of self-contained a little bit there, so they're able to weather the fires a little bit better than other people.
The way I heard it was, a lot of people didn't want to take their horses and put them in the hands of lay people because they're race horses. They're specifically trained and bred to be a specific way.
They don't want us to pump them full of peppermints and
they didn't want to send him. It's like that's the equivalent of sending him to grandma's house for the weekend.
I got a racehorse. He looks like a butterball turkey now.
It's like, no, I know the world is on fire, but hey, finely tuned athletic machines live here. Okay.
But yeah, but they're starting, so they could start up racing here this weekend.
Wow,
that could be a possibility.
I actually need to check with Josh to see what the status is on the rescheduling of the the event that I think was supposed to be this weekend. It might.
The Bourbon Fest or whatever it was, I think. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a live, I believe it was William Clark Green and...
Yeah, I imagine that they'll probably reschedule that for later in the summer or the fall or something when the artists, and I'm sure they've got schedules to keep, and they're on the road to their next stop, and they're like, okay, can we work a hole back in your schedule? So that might take a little bit of time.
If Ruidoso really wants to put a little signature on this whole thing of prestige, they should have a Fire Fest sometime next year. Fire Fest.
Well, and I've actually seen online where people are trying to coordinate
like a Burning Man,
like a concert,
not like a no, the exact opposite.
Yeah, I know. Basically, have a big concert, i.e., party to raise money for fire victims and things like that. And I have seen some attempts online of people, the musician types, mostly like your Klosses and some of the folks that regularly do shows in Ruidoso are looking to organize and formulate. So people,
GDP had a pop-up show over at the skate park the other night.
Yeah, we were able to deliver some food over there for
That's
them,
awesome.
and big thank you to the American Legion folks. They came out, and so for folks who don't know, when we were talking this weekend was also the American Legion's state of New Mexico's state convention here in Roswell. So we had a few hundred Legionnaires from all over the state on auxiliary and Sun members and stuff here in Roswell doing their state convention, which just so happened the fires hit, so it kind of added a wrinkle to the week. But so Legionnaires, they came and they passed the hat around, and I was able to give the Food Not Bomb folks and the Gonzalez folks close to $800 in cash and a bunch of food from our barbecue Friday night and everything else. So it all got put to good use. So
nice,
good deal. So yeah, very happy there. And of course, you're hearing a lot of rumors now with the Red Cross going in, and some of it is true.
Yeah.
Some of it is a little speculation. Like people are saying they're charging for food and this kind of thing.
Yeah, and then that like when the mayor or when the governor showed up, they looked like they were working, and then everybody bailed when she did.
And you're hearing that kind of stuff. And from some of it may be true. Some of it is like the food thing is really what's going on there. And I kind of read other reports is they're having free food for folks there, like bags with the food and but what they're telling people, if you want something else, the cafeteria at the college is open. You're more than welcome to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the cafe.
Right.
That's what they're telling people. They're like, hey, we've got this food for you for free, but if you don't like it or want it, you're more than welcome to purchase food over here at the cafeteria. That's what they're telling people.
Yeah.
That somehow got turned into, oh, they're now charging for food because the Red Cross moved in. So some of it you're hearing might be true. Some of it might have a modicum of truth and a whole lot of added. The what's the telephone game or whatever that is. You got a lot of that going on here.
It's one of the most famous quotes of all time. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. So Abraham Lincoln said it.
That's right. That's right. You can take that to the bank.
I thought it was Gandhi who said that.
He later said it, but Lincoln said it first.
No, I believe Gandhi's direct quote was, "People know me as one to never turn down a juicy steak."
I love a good burger.
Well, also Ruidoso blessed us, our economy here in Roswell.
Yeah.
And so I think we should return the favor. We should go, over there and help them.
When we can. We can't go in now, but when we're allowed back in,
Sure.
yeah.
And I would
patronize.
guess, as life gets back to normal here for folks, then you'll start seeing things like, let's do a big charity event. Strike while the iron's hot, while it's in the forefront of people's brains. But as far as the plannings and the who, what, where, whens of it, that's when that'll come a little later. So, but yes, I anticipate we will see some of that going on here. As you know, Ruidoso, like you were saying, Roy, it brings money to us, but at the same point, Ruidoso is like the home away for home for so many people in New Mexico, particularly southeast New Mexico.
Yes.
Obviously Texas. We all know we see on the weekends when you got 37 vehicles from Texas passing through town heading to Ruidoso for the weekend. Yep. They're great for the economy and everybody. So I think a lot of people just look at it, even though we don't technically live in Ruidoso, it's still our home. It's like, and when we brag about our home to people from the outside of the area, we always throw in we're an hour from the skiing and all the beauties that come with Ruidoso. We always are quick to tell people that's part of our culture.
It's kind of our sister town.
Yeah, exactly. It's the southeast New Mexico. We're all chew the same dirt here, and we all live in the same patch of grass and mountains and desert. We all need to do our part to keep it this way for the next generation.
Fun fact, I actually looked it up like a week ago. There's a town in Poland that is technically Roswell's sister city.
Yeah, they did that
like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. I feel like we got a couple sister cities.
We had one in Japan for a while, and then this was our new.
Denver's like a sister city for airports or something.
Is it because the guy who founded the city went?
It's
usually political.
October 2023. Okay, this is so here it is. As of October 2023, Roswell, New Mexico has two sister cities. I'm not even going to. Cuauhtémoc, Chihuahua, Mexico, and Kolzinski, Poland.
That's right near Zinmatnadendejo or whatever.
Yeah, Zewatenejo.
Yeah, that place.
Look for a rock that shouldn't be there.
But I kind of do want to go to one of these cities. You're like, hey, I'm from your sister city. Where's a good place to eat around here? And
Right.
they know, but I don't think anybody would know. Like, what, your sister city? What are you talking about?
Mhm.
Maybe a few politicians in Poland and a few politicians here, but yeah.
What up, sis?
Wait, so what's the explanation for Poland being our sisters?
I remember the city going there a couple years ago, and we brought the gifts and everything. I don't remember why.
We'll have to
other than just
track down the proclamation and dive into the
Next time I get
whereas.
Christine Arnold in, we'll talk.
Do
to
they
her.
have-
I think she was involved with that. So
Do they have aliens over there too? Or
maybe.
Did they
I'm
visit
sure.
over there?
You never know. You never know. They're everywhere.
I just see all
They
the
live
same,
amongst us.
same alien statues, but wearing Polish culture.
It's just like Alienation, that TV show movie back in the 90s. They live amongst us and they hang out and so, or the stupid Men in Black movies, just like that.
Or just Resident Alien.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, but that's only one. Yeah, I guess a couple, depending on how far in the show you are. But
It's like Last Man on Earth. Eventually, you're gonna have to start finding other people.
Yeah. Well, the part that makes me laugh in Resident Alien is like there's other species of alien, and they all kind of and they make it. That show makes it so fun because he'll has stereotype opinions of certain alien species based on things.
Well, I know his opinions about E.T. for
And
example.
that makes me laugh every time he does the ET because they just throw that in every
sexy
every
ET.
once or twice a season. They're talking, and then he gets like that vixen ET, like ET's some sexy vixen, and it makes me laugh every time because he talks about ET like some charlotte or some harlot. It just makes me laugh every time. But anyway, but one of those is there's one species of alien I think's related to his species, and they're all octopus. So the octopus, the octopi that roam the earth, they're all actually aliens, and he communicates and talks. Like
Honestly,
one's a pet and a friend for a little bit.
If aliens are amongst us, I would say that octopi are the best explanation of it. I mean, the way their bodies work, how each of their tentacles has its own brain.
Yeah.
They can slip through like a pinhole. Everything about the octopus creeps me the heck out.
Yeah, pretty much any ocean-dwelling creature.
You ever see a sea turtle eat a jellyfish?
Oh, I saw that last week.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
You ever had a dog rolling?
He did ask that very airplane.
You ever watch Gladiator movie?
Well, no, it slurps it up like spaghetti.
Well, it's gelatinous. I guess it's only one way to get it in you. Slurp it up.
Yeah.
And then you find out what the inside of a turtle's mouth looks like, and it's just like spikes everywhere.
Oh, I did see that. I did see the still of that, where when a turtle with his mouth open, and that's
some of those turtles. There's a reason why they can live. I mean, like 100 years, and they move slower. I mean, they're tough as nails. But it is. They take a beating. They're like Timex watches. These turtles run around.
Next time you see one, just grab a turtle, toss it down a hill. They can handle it.
That's right.
They'll just tuck in and roll.
What's he gonna sneak up on you and get revenge? I mean, he's
Get
slow.
a small one and skip it across a pond. See what happens.
Of course, it might turn the Sea Turtle Network on you, and next thing you know, like you got a bunch of turtles hanging out on your porch, and you go to leave, and it's like, ooh.
You just reminded me of that.
Guys.
You just reminded me of that Adam Sandler Netflix movie now, Leo, the one about the lizard that's like 100 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that
It's
one.
an animated movie. It's like a lizard that lives in instead of a classroom, and eventually he decides he wants to get out and see the world for himself.
Okay.
Or he starts to talk and like teach all the students.
So it's like
things
Finding
that he
Nemo,
knows.
but with lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Lost fish, getting home, stuck in the tank. Yeah, I got it.
He teaches the kids the wisdom of the
lizard?
the hunter lizard, the 100-year-old lizard.
The only thing I've seen of it was the trailer where he actually works in the Billy Madison Back to School. Back to school.
Yeah, I thought he was busy chasing penguins. We do have folks from Galactica. I know Elaine's here. I don't know. Someone's with her because she's talking to people, so I can't tell who they are unless she's throwing her voice. I don't know. But Elaine Mayfield's going to join us talk Galacticon here in just a few. But first, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot temperatures for the next couple of days. We have high pressure over the area for now and a low pressure trough just east of the New Mexico mountains. We'll be up around 100 for the afternoon high today. Lots of sunshine. Mid-70s and clear for the overnight hours. 100 to 105 for the afternoon high on Tuesday and sunny. We do have a slim chance of a shower Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Is your old car, truck, or SUV on life support?
Clear.
With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months and no payments until Labor Day. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 1515 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Oh! Shooters, mark your calendars for the H.F. Sinclair 3rd Annual Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range, benefiting the Artesia FFA. Main event is Saturday. Registration at 7 a.m. 1 in 4 participants win prizes, gun boards, raffles, and lunch included. There's an option Friday night light shoot with $40 individual rounds. Details and registration info at artesiachamber.com. Deadline is July 1st. The 3rd Annual H.F. Sinclair Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Do you love your car?
Yes.
Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Yes, cannabis is legal in New Mexico. No, there are helpful rules to keep you safe. For instance, yes, you should only buy from a licensed dispensary. Know that if you don't, yours might contain harmful substances. And yes, cannabis slows reaction time. So, know that you should never drive high. Know your yeses and nos about all things cannabis. From the State of New Mexico Cannabis Control Division. Go to yesandnosnm.com.
The 2024 UFO Festival, Roswell, New Mexico. Explore, engage, and encounter the extraordinary. The speaker list is huge. Listen to the leading UFOologists, and the non-believers will believe. Check out the Roswell Incident and Film Fest, which includes independent filmmakers and captivating discussion. Go to UFOfestival.com for schedules, updates, and more information. The Roswell UFO Festival, July 5th through the 7th, where the unexpected becomes the unforgettable. Paid for in part by City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 28 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, talking Galacticon, which and UFO Festival, which is all happening July 5th through July 7th. Of course, Elaine Mayfield back with us here, head of Galacticon.
Yes, Monday morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you? And then we also brought two of our I guess you could say specialists that are part of this year's Galactic. Specialist is a good term, so I go with that. Put it on the cards.
Yeah. And they're on my board, so that
Yes.
we have an executive board so we can help each other out and do things year round, hopefully.
Well, we tend to find that, especially for events like this that are staples and been going on, it's better to have a collective group of people making decisions and helping with logistics versus one person doing it all. You find out real quick that it's very hard to do that. So guys like Matt and Peter here are definitely helping. Of course, Matt Bromley, you're the gaming guy. All the gaming and stuff that's going to be going on at Galacticon, that's kind of under your umbrella.
Yes.
And then we also have Peter Powell, and you're kind of in the cosplay world of everything Galacticon.
Correct. I do emceeing, and I also do the cosplay contest, trying to get people involved. A lot of great costumes out there, and you want to see everybody out there.
And when we look at, because, obviously Galacticon, we're going to have a lot of folks coming from out of town, from all over the world, coming to see our little patch of woods here for that weekend. And so we're going to have a lot of out-of-town folks here, but Galacticon's one of those things, and so is the UFO Festival. There's equal parts things for locals as there is things for the world, so to speak. And so a lot of the stuff that you do at Galacticon, we want to get as many locals. We talk about the pet and the human costume contests that are kind of traditions of UFO Festival weekend and everything. That's kind of, yes, we have our out-of-town visitors come and dress up and participate, but we get as many locals, if not more locals, like to participate in, say, the costuming, the cosplay side. Certainly, as we're adding more and more of the gaming element to the Galacticon, we have quite a large contingent of gamers right here in our neck of the woods. So you're going to equally meet someone that probably lives in the other side of town versus someone that lives in Europe.
And that's really the fun part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to meet some really cool people from all around the world.
Absolutely.
You certainly do.
And I imagine it's a lot of fun for your scope because, when we get to gaming, no matter if it's table games or computer games or something in between, or if it's certainly cosplay and costuming, because there's so many different camps and beliefs in these things, especially like in the cosplay world, you got folks that you need to be true to characters and you need to get it exactly right. Other people are like, no, I'm just in the universe. I'm not Darth Vader. I'm a guy that lives on Tatooine that had a bar or had a widget shop. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the world.
Yeah, in the cosplay universe, we love seeing original ideas.
Yeah.
You can build on something so simplistic and make an original character, and it's always great to see when people do that.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the melding of all this weekend and what really Galacticon's about. It's, as the years have progressed, there's kind of, been different majorities of people, obviously there's a lot of steampunk history in the history of this Galacticon, and there still is some of that, but it has evolved so much more from those first years of Galacticon, where it's a much broader, much more all things just nerd.
Peter was one of the founders of the Steampunk Society here, and so he's been involved with that part of it, and that's how we met and pulled him into this. One thing that we talked about briefly before was the difference in costume and cosplay. And it's really a persona in the cosplay, like you said.
Sure. Right. Where the costuming, they're trying to get the details right. Kind of, like you look at like is it the 405th? The Star Wars.
Oh, the 501st.
501st, thank you.
There may be a 405th out there.
I have a lot of... I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I have nerddom in a lot of things, but uber nerddom in nothing.
Uber nerddom.
Yeah. So, but of course, those folks are much about getting it as movie quality as possible. Like when a stormtrooper from them walks in, they want you to think it's straight out of Tatooine or straight out of the Death Star. You know what I mean?
And I completely understand that because there are a lot of cosplay community out there that they go for movie accurate replica.
Sure.
Around here, you can show up with a spray painted cardboard box and say you're Megatron,
it's
and
fantasy.
We're good with that.
Yeah, it allows for the Picassos of the world to come into the cosplay. It's like, this is my interpretation of what life is like on this planet. This is my interpretation of what the common person is doing in the Death Star when everyone else is fighting the Rebel Alliance.
Exactly. And going back to the steampunk aspect of it, there is no wrong answer in steampunk.
Sure.
You can be a kid with goggles and a hat and be a steampunk newsie.
Sure. And it really into genre, like you could get some that more think of like when you say steampunk and you think of Jules Verne and you think of that, the futuristic with the 1800s
with the Victorian era,
vision to it, and that's, I guess you could say steampunk in the traditional sense. But then there's like subgenres, and some are like, I only focus on Civil War era stuff, or my focus is on more of the steam technology, less on the costuming, and more. Everyone has their niches.
Correct.
Within the culture, so to speak.
Correct.
And that's the beauty of it. It's all niches come together. And sure, you put a bunch of people passionate about a thing in a room, they're going to argue about it. But that's part of the fun. It's no different than, like, of course, our Galacticon pregame party here, Towel Day, and many of the stuff with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's the same thing. There are so many people that can read or be a fan of a certain property and take away completely different messages from it. And Galacticon is a coming of all things of that, I think, a little bit, too.
Thank you. That's nice.
So eloquently put.
Yeah, as much as, we think about the costuming and the fun side, and that really is it, but it's a chance for people to express themselves. It's a place for people to, let's face it, our day jobs. We go to work and we slay the dragon every day or whatever your 9-to-5 job is, whether, it's something that's related to what you do. Sometimes it's not. Like, by day, I work in a hotel. By night, I'm this character from this universe, and that's the beauty of Galacticon, because you get all types. You get folks that they're young and this is their life. You get folks that by day they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're retirees, and on weekends they're wearing wings in a latex suit of some kind. It's just that's the cool part of Galacticon is it lets people let their hair down and live their own space for a little bit, whether it's coming out and gaming, whether it's coming out and pretending to be a part of a group. Or if you're just, I just want to go around and see these things and collect stuff, and or what cons are originally for. The old school, I'm a collector of comics. That's still here too. It's so much more than that. But if you're an old school, I love to collect comics and figurines or Funko, whatever your particular collections are. This services that too. So it's really all things nerd come together for the weekend is kind of what it is.
Let me give you a few hard facts. We decided to come back and do cosplay so we could add it to the day's lineup. So it's not competing against the costume contest.
Sure. We're just adding to it. It's like, hey, you're looking for an excuse to wear more stuff, come hang out with us.
Stay all day. Yeah. So they're asking them to come. They have to register by noon at the Galacticon, at the main hall at the convention center. And then between noon and 3, they're going to solicit people choice votes. And people pay $1 to vote.
Yeah, and please
each
vote.
time. You can vote 100,000 times if you want. We can't. And then at
Hey,
3 o'clock,
that's $100,000. We'll take it.
We would take it, that's for sure. So at 3 o'clock, we'll do a formal judging, and Peter's running that part of the judging as well.
Yes.
But we want to encourage people, come at noon, come
Now,
ready.
Didn't you need to pre-register for the contest or anything, or like can you do that
Register
now
at
online,
noon.
or just come
Yeah.
in when you
Yeah.
come in with your gear and say I'm ready to compete, or I'm ready to
Either one.
We'll get you in.
But from the hours of noon to 3, you have to be there in costume and
selling
In
yourself.
character.
Selling yourself.
In
in character selling yourself.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's kind of one of the bigger differences with costume and
Yes,
cosplay.
yes.
Cosplay, you're evoking a personality. You're
That's right.
evoking the character. You encumber all things that person. You're not Joe Smith or Jane Smith that particular moment. You are whatever. So the barbarian, or you know.
Yeah, and the persona
Darth
that you
this.
get into lasts all weekend or all day or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's a continual.
And that's kind of one of the points I was going to make, where gaming and cosplay actually coexist.
Oh, yeah.
is
They work hand in hand.
Yeah, you have a level 20 barbarian on paper. Bring them to life.
Sure.
Bring them to con.
All those D&D folks have been playing Dungeons and Dragons their whole lives, whether they're seasoned like my age or whether you just got into it in the last couple of years. Because D&D's been around a while, kids. And,
50. It's actually
you just
50
didn't invent
years.
that one overnight,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's the anniversary for the 50 years. Yeah.
And back
Yeah.
in the 80s, it was looked at as like the devil's tool and all kinds. They had a lot of obstacles to overcome to be
They
where they are today.
rediscovered it during the pandemic. Tabletop games, I think, resurged.
Overall.
Yeah, I would say it got more
couldn't go out of the
popular
house.
or it got
there's-
more mainstream. I think there's
Yeah.
always been the underground,
Yes.
Right.
just hordes of people playing D&D in their basements for 30 years. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's just been around, And I think things like Stranger Things kind of brought that back into the lexicon a little bit too, because that show caught on in such popularity, and all things 80s got kind of popular again because of shows like that,
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
D&D was very much a part of that. So I think that show single-handedly created the next generation of D&D players too.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
check
yeah.
our website. That's RoswellGalacticon.com, and we'll have information on all of these things.
Absolutely, and by the way, D&D's just scratching the surface. Whatever whether it's other
Yeah.
table games, Magic,
Oh, yeah.
or whatever, if there's basically 3 people that are into it, there's probably a table of it going on
we'll
somewhere.
We'll have several tables of Dungeons and Dragons. There's Pathfinder, which is in the same vein as that. A lot of table games, board games, not just role-playing games, but definitely we'll have.
And that's
a lot
something that
of
you've
that.
done here in your personal life,
Yeah.
is inventing games and
I
kind
do.
of creating. So I'm just curious. What's inspiration? Is it other games? Is it just in the shower one day? And wouldn't it be cool if we do a game set in a world of
Hey, it's all
Yeah.
in all, wherever inspiration hits. But,
Yeah.
but when I was a kid, it was really the movies.
Okay.
Stepping into a movie and seeing these
You wanna live in
characters.
that world.
You want to live in that world. You want to
Yeah.
act it out. And you want to be a part of it,
Sure.
and have a storyteller
Sure.
right there with you, and guide you along, and so that's where the inspiration hit me first, was the movies when I was a kid, and just wanting to stay in the movie.
Sure.
Right.
Well, and let's face it, depending on your age and things like that, first time you see Star Wars and they're playing the animated chess with the
Sure.
with the little, I mean, how many people said, "Man, I wish I had that game in my house." You know what I mean?
Right.
It's stuff like that inspires people and gets people, to create, like you said. And I something I saw, something as a kid I loved, and now as a grown person, I want to make that into fruition here.
And I'm so happy that we're bringing in the cosplay this year, because it ties in perfectly with playing a character.
Absolutely.
And now you get to sit down at a table and, limited by your own imagination,
And it
do
begins the
what
next
you want
thing,
in the
too.
game. Yeah.
Like this is like the next thing that's popular. Probably formulates because cosplayers and gamers are sitting in a room doing something, and they say, "Wouldn't it be cool if we did this?" And next thing you know, you're doing,
Usually,
tea-doobling. or something like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Tea-dueling's coming back next year.
You've always asked about tea dueling.
I'm fascinated by tea-doobling.
I asked his wife.
My wife is the tiffin master.
Okay.
So yeah. and,
Yes, and
it was a little too soon, and she was like, "Do you think I could pull it off?" I was like, "Just let's do it next year."
Sure.
So next year, tea dueling is coming.
We're
back.
gonna hype it up. So so for all the folks that were looking for it this year, come and show your fervor for it, and that'll support for a bigger, stronger tea dueling tournament, perhaps. Next
Oh
year.
yes. Oh yes.
And it's a very interesting concept if you're not familiar. It comes from the steampunk culture. That's kind of where the game resonates from. But it's a little smack talking, it's a little drinking tea, it's a little let's see how sturdy your biscuit is, and that's right. And basically they dip the biscuit in the tea, and then they have it hanging over, and it's good and soaked. And at some point, the biscuit's going to fall apart.
Right.
You're trying to kind of smack talk the other guy and to get him to laugh,
politely.
Yeah, so exactly with a British modicum of decency to it. There,
exactly.
Cut them cold, but not like overt, like something that makes you think a little bit. Like, ooh, that was pretty bad.
It's basically last biscuit standing.
Yeah, and so you're trying to get them to laugh. You're trying to get them. Basically off kilter so that their biscuit breaks sooner than yours. And
correct.
In essence,
when they start laughing, they shake.
Yeah, when you're laughing or giggling or whatever. Now, I'm sure there's no touching. You can't physically.
Nope.
But to get them to, whatever joke works, and I'm guessing if you know your competitor pretty well, that gives you a lot more ammunition to work with on some of that. But that's kind of, and so the fun is, what'll do it? And I'm sure you get some players like, well, that person never breaks, and then they get them to break, and you're like, oh, But that's the fun of tea dueling, and so not for Galacticon 2024, but Galacticon 2025.
Yes.
It will be back, and hopefully one of the biggest events of the weekend. Hopefully,
Absolutely,
because it's a lot of fun. So.
I do want to mention we have different kinds of gamings. We have video.
And there's also computer and the things you got to plug things into things to play too, not just some cards and a table and some friends. There is more modern.
There is. We have it all
with modern technology.
We have it all, from video games all the way down to tabletop games. That is like Pocono. Mm-hmm. It's a wooden board that you get to flick little pucks around.
Yeah,
and very strategically, I might add. But so we have it all. Like I said, from Dungeons and Dragons to tabletop games such as Return to Dark Tower. There's a lot of Marvel stuff that we have.
Is that based on? Hold on.
Yeah.
My inner nerd's coming out a little bit, because when I was a child, my mother bought us a board game that not many people had. It was crazy expensive to own at the time.
Yeah.
And now you can see it on eBay for like $200.
They had
and it's called The Dark Tower.
Well, there's the Return of Dark Tower.
And that's what I was wondering. Is it an offshoot of that game?
I believe it is.
I loved that game as a kid. And basically it was in that era when electronics were starting to show up in board games. It was kind of before Nintendo and all that took off. Pong and maybe Atari was around about that time, but we weren't into the next evolution of gaming. And so there was a lot of board games that had electronic element that came out.
Yeah, the tower, it has certain things that it does electronically.
It was a big black tower that sat, and basically there were 4 lands around, and you had...
It's the same,
You each had your land, and there was like an armory, ruins, and each had a different... And you basically had to build up your armies, defeat the other armies, and then take on the tower. And fight on. And that was the premise of the game, and it usually lasted like Risk, about 2.5 days to get through all of them.
I'm not sure in the original version. Exactly. I'm not sure in the original version, but in the new version, in Return to the Dark Tower, it has elements that come out of the tower as well. There's like skulls and different things that it drops into certain territories.
80s technology was not quite there yet. I mean, we had a little video clip, and the music, oh boy, action time,
Right, yeah. Now it actually drops things on the board randomly.
Now they get virtual on you, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But
we have a wide variety.
Oh, that is so cool.
The newest thing this year that I'm introducing is Miniature Terrain Gallery. It's a gaming gallery. You don't play at these tables, but it's a gallery where you get to see people's work and local artists.
So it's kind of a check this out / maybe inspiration thing. If you're wanting to create your own game, I would say don't copy games per se, but maybe get inspired. It's like, I love what they're doing here, but I would twist it this way, and that's
you get to create your own scenery. You've seen the old, from a movie or a TV show, the guy is in his room with the war game table, and he's acting out some historical war.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to have Warhammer. We're going to have, different tables set up like that.
So maybe a few history buffs want to get in there and have a little fun with some of that stuff,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the beauty. And to be honest, y'all are the same. I'm telling you right now, your history nerds, your gaming nerds, your jocks, you're all the same. You're all fervent about your thing.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
And then you're going to realize that it crosses over, and you meathead jock guys are going to be like, oh, there's some cool, you know what I mean? Like, because that's where the jocks versus the nerds. There's always that line in the sand, and I'm like, that line's blurry as all get out. Y'all don't realize. You are the same people.
And the age is the same way. We have the older people and we have young people there.
Absolutely.
And all doing the same thing, all interested in similar
it's all
things.
a gathering of people that kind of like the same thing, and if not the exact same thing, the essence of that thing, and that's really what Galacticon is in a nutshell. It's all things. That's why I keep saying it's all things nerd. It's just if you're into collecting, maybe you're into 60s cartoons. Maybe I love the old classics. I'm the Looney Tunes. Guess what? There's going to be people that are just like you that are into that, and you'll probably find collectibles and things that speak to that.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're like, nope, I like Battlestar Galactica. Not the new stuff, the 70s. Okay, come on in. We're going to get you. And there's a whole genre of people that are into exactly what you're into. And that's what Galacticon is.
We have another thing new this year, and that's the library for the open place.
That's right. Frost Giant Games and Lanes, a store that's been here for maybe about a year now.
Yeah, okay.
They've relocated now on Main Street. And we're going to bring in a lot of game masters that run games over there.
Okay.
And so we have 16 game masters
So you
this
could get
year.
to meet some of these folks. And some of these folks are making a living doing this. Like
Absolutely.
They make enough money where this is their day job now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you ever wanted to learn and let some of that rub off on you, if you're thinking, because I know there's a lot of kids out there that are on their YouTubes or on their gaming channels trying to make their nut. And these are folks that have been and done that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to learn how they did it.
Oh yeah, do not be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
The only thing you should be afraid of is how long we'll keep you there talking.
You're talking with people that have a passion. And people with passion in all walks of life, myself included, sometimes don't know when to shut up. So sometimes like, thanks, man, I gotta go.
but that's just it with the games, with building props or making cosplay stuff, anything.
It's people's passion.
Yeah,
it's
come ask. We'll talk your ear off about it.
And if that's your passion too, come get. And maybe you're looking to make circles that get you more involved in that. And this is how you do it. Galacticon is a building full of circles, and you want to come in and get a part of these circles and learn who are in it. And I was just telling I was talking with Elaine last week. One of my Legionnaires, he's an author, wrote a couple books. I'm like, why are you not at Galacticon?
He is now.
He is now, thank God. But he was kind of like, you really? I don't know. And I'm like, dude, you want to sell more than 10 books that you sold to your friends? Get out there and meet people that read exactly what you're writing.
Exactly.
That's what Galacticon is.
Yeah, there's a game that I'll be putting out here the next year called Pirates of Fortune. It's a game that I've spent many years on. But like you're talking about, there's networking going on at Galacticon as well. There's an artist there that I hired to do the artwork for the game. So, I mean, there's so many possibilities.
Now I'm curious.
Little inside secret, I test played it while it was in development. Great game.
So he's one of your testers.
Thank you.
So I'm very curious, it's because someone of your id and how your brain works, I've kind of got an idea here just talking with you. And so I imagine, is there any game that's like the one that won't get away, like you want to create that for whatever reason, hurdles prevent you from doing it? Is there your one, I don't know what you call it, your holy grail of games you're trying to
There's really
get out
about
there?
7.
Okay. I was like, there's one, but actually it's about a dozen.
Right.
And whatever it is, like, I don't know if technology's just not there to meet your vision.
No, it's not that. I like to keep it, just all tabletop.
Sure.
No, there's no plug-in.
And
we're
that's
here
the
to
beauty
play.
of tabletop,
And,
really, is you can play it wherever there's people.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, sure, it's nice when it's air conditioned and you got snacks handy, but you don't have to.
Well, I've been challenged before. Can you create a game that doesn't involve a table? Well, let's do it.
Sure.
And so I did.
Yeah.
And
Well, and this is
wasn't that Thumb Wars?
Thumb War, Ultimate Thumb War.
Ultimate Thumb War.
Of course, the old I Declare War. So
but it's with cards, and it's D&D like. It has a theme like that.
Oh,
and
cool.
So
But
you activate certain warriors with your thumb and go against each other.
Yeah, but it's a card game. It's quick, and it's like something you could play on the bus with your buddy on the way to school.
Yeah. And so you could teach new friends to get in the game in 5 minutes, and they're playing.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
They said if it's the trip to the field trip or whatever, the bus trip to Vegas, you can play.
Because see, and that's just it. It's a game that's not like Pokemon or Magic or anything where you have to like have everything is handheld.
Sure.
All the cards are handheld, and it's real quick.
And it sounds like a type of game that would attract all walks of life, where children, people that literally like to play solitaire, with their cards.
Yeah,
exactly. What I mean? And there are still a few that actually play with cards. Not many. But my grandmother was one of the ones that that's on a computer
we still
now.
have a lot of people out there playing, older games, chess. We got a community here.
Well,
we have a mahjong.
Chess is a game that's always been like it's easy to learn, a lifetime to master. So it's
for sure.
Certain games like that just have that. Once they hook you in, you're kind of and then you carry other aspects of your life into what you're learning through chess and things, and a lot of games are like that.
Yeah. Little jump back there. We were talking about Frost Giant. What he's doing is opening a library, and it's going to have old games.
Okay.
It'll have games,
And you could go in and with
check them out, kind of thing.
Check it out and play it at an empty table there.
Yeah, Frost Giant
so that
Games
might
Lanes
bring
has
back
been,
that nostalgia.
Kenny and Shadow have been really nice to donate
and that's
game
a great,
library.
And I imagine for you because at the end of the day, you like to eat food and live your life and things, and so you make money doing games and things. It's kind of a test market for your stuff. And it's like, oh, you love this game? I just happened to invent it. Here's a copy of it right here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it gets to force people to find things that maybe they didn't realize they liked. You know what I mean? It puts them out of their scope of where they look for entertainment. It's kind of like for readers. You go to the library and you're like, man, I always end up in the mystery section because that's where, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why you go to the library. Let's go to the nonfiction section. Let's go to the self-help section. Game is very much the same way.
There's a lot of D&D games out there that they use the table space to create scenes, and landscapes. And I'm hoping that the gallery might inspire somebody that never even thought about being into that type of a game.
That was something I learned as a kid, when we played D&D, because I was just a player. I wasn't a dungeon master or nothing. But when you're that level of dungeon master, and you're basically building a whole world for you. And I remember, I don't know if it's still this way, but they have their graph paper and they're designing the maps and the
depends on the DM.
dragons.
Yeah, it depends on the DM.
And some would even go. They got the figurines and created 3D, and some create a whole world. Others are doing graph paper.
What's also interesting, Peter, that's sitting here, he recently did a game where you draw the map. The player draws part of the map. So that's what's neat about modern games is the player's more involved in the world building as well.
Well, it's
it was kind of an idea that I had for a while, and basically I let them draw it, but then I had them roll dice and then went to the mazes and areas book, and whatever they rolled, it was like, okay, here we go. This is what you're facing in this room. And they were like, wait, what? And it's like,
it creates a fog of war aspect that maybe you can't replicate in other ways during the game. So it's creating that fog of war aspect. It's like, you don't know what's around the next corner.
Right.
I don't even know what's around the next corner. We're going to figure it out together.
And that's the other beauty of it. As the DM, you had to think on your feet.
Sure. Yeah, I imagine it keeps you on your toes. And,
It's a lot of improv.
And I would say, for a modern version to give people, if you watch Big Bang Theory, there's a couple episodes where they play a game of D&D, and that's pretty much how it is. Granted, they don't have a Wallowitz that can do all the characters and the voices and everything, but that's D&D, man. That's they're creating a world.
I will tell you, playing with this crew, it's like trying to herd cats. They like to go off on their own direction.
Sure. Well, everyone wants to be the star in their movie, don't they? That's just human nature. But so when you're at Galacticon here, again, it's going to be all taking place. The Galacticon portion of UFO Festival will all be at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Yes.
All the days you can get day passes. You can get a pass for the entire weekend if you want. If you go to the UFO Festival main page, it's got everything UFO Festival from Galacticon to the museum stuff, to the Daily Record stuff, to Main Street stuff. You'll find all your order forms and times and schedules there. And then, of course, you can always just walk on in any day or all day during the event. Come walk around. It's air conditioned. So
absolutely.
It's UFO Festival. It will be 100 and something the first weekend of July, because that's always 100 and something the first weekend of July.
Yeah, it's $5 admission for adults, but that helps pay for the room. We do have to pay for the facility.
Well, it is not free to house yourselves in the convention center. It does cost, and so there's to cover that stuff. But and support the vendors. That's because a lot of vendors will be there, and this is how they make their nut. This is how they.
And I think that'll be our topic next week is the vendors and
if you're looking for cool collectibles, so it's a full encompassing experience at Galacticon. If you want to experience life outside your world a little bit, it's all there. and you can come in there, pay your $5 and have a fun day and barely spend any money.
That's right.
Or if you're like, nope, I need to get this book and I need to get this collectible and I'm looking for this thing.
Or you want to do the escape room.
And there's escape room, so there's a lot of fun. And even if you don't consider yourself a science fiction nerd, I guarantee you there's going to be enough stuff in there that does fall under science fiction that you just didn't realize falls under science fiction. You know, and that's the beauty of Galacticon.
And if you want to go get more information on cosplay or gaming schedule or anything like that, just go to RoswellGalacticon.com.
Yep, that's the website. If you want to be a vendor, there's still space to be a vendor. If you guys, like I said, I've just told my Legionnaire, you write books about science fiction. You have 2 books out. There's a whole room full of people that are going to want to check out what you're looking at. So
do we have any artists this year besides?
Steve Garcia is our featured artist this year.
Okay.
And he is the animator of the Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant movie, which, you know.
And Simpsons and Torque. And,
wow. So was he
okay.
What era of Simpsons did you know off to? Because
you'll have to ask him.
That show's been on so long that they've had generations of animators and writers and
You should
creators.
come and talk to him.
Yeah.
It would be a nice
I
interview.
imagine if he's Iron Giant, he's probably in those mid years of some. He wasn't there for the early years, but. Right. By the time they're about season 6, 7, 8, where they find their groove, he's probably right around in that.
Grew up in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
cool.
A lot of people in New Mexico, you know, there's a lot of ties to film and creative art and things in all ways, shape, or form. We're very blessed that way.
Yes, we are.
So, and you get to and you get to meet the people that make that happen at Galacticon too. You'll see, you know, throughout the course of the weekend, you'll meet writers, producers, cosplayers, costume designers, you know, people that do this in the industry on a day-to-day basis. And if you're looking to set your roots up in that world, a lot of people to rack their brains on and talk to and learn, you know, learn the people that are in the industry and get your foot in the door. This is one of those things. You meet the people, make the connections, and over a tea dueling, you could make a good friend and next thing a connection for your job or something. Not this year for tea dueling, next year, but you get what I'm saying. Over a board game here, or over a game, or over an instance.
I think I know who we have our first contestant to sign up.
I was the first time I heard about it. I was so fascinated by it. It's always caught my brain ever since.
I told you always asked me about tea dueling.
It's one of those fascinating aspects because it's so unique to steampunk and you never see that anywhere else. So
I won a game when I told him your mother wears army boots. If that isn't an old line.
Well, my classics work. Don't get it.
Mike, you come down, we'll have a top hat for you.
There you go. Yeah. I have a big enough head to fit one. So. And I'm short, so they won't mistake me for 8 feet. I'm only 5'8". They won't have to worry about it. So, good deal. Is there anything we missed? Any info we wanted to share that we got sidebarred on?
Go ahead.
I mean, there's a lot going on. Go to RoswellGalacticon.com. I mean, that's the main thing. If you want to get
of events going on,
information,
right.
yeah.
Make it part of it. Whether you make one day or all 3 days, while you're out UFO festivaling, make sure you make your way into Galacticon and see all the cool things there is to do, see, feel, touch, taste. Get wet with, we have
a water park.
Water park.
Yep. Free water park that's sponsored by the city and us.
Lots of opportunities if grown kids want to do things grown kids do and you want to send the little kids off to somewhere else so you can do your grown kid things. Galacticon's got you covered.
You got that right.
Yeah.
We also have free parking.
That's a bonus
Huge.
too, and you're centrally located. So if you want to park there and navigate up and down Main Street, that's a good place to park. And good news with the since they've added new parking lots over the years and things, there's plenty of parking in and around that.
And we will have food trucks there at the convention center too. You can eat there if you need.
There'll be food inside.
All your needs.
Don't worry, everything's covered.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes, the vendors appreciate that.
Yeah.
well, at some point you're hungry.
Yeah. All that talking.
And after slaying the dragon for a couple hours, you're ready to get a burrito or a burger in your belly. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next week.
Thank you.
We're getting close. June 5th through June 7th is UFO Festival. July 5th through July 7th. We missed it already? Yes, we always recap about things. July 5th through July 7th, right after 4th of July there. That Thursday, Friday, we kick off UFO Festival weekend. Get involved in all things UFO Festival. Hang out at Galacticon. Get down to Main Street. Get to the museum. Go check out the film festival. The Daily Record's got going on. All of these things are part of the 3-day weekend, and love to have you come and do as much of it as you possibly can. So good deal. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
All right, it's 9:03. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
As well as the strikes on Hezbollah targets overnight, the Israeli military also reported that 2 members of a local security team in northern Israel have been injured, one seriously, by a Hezbollah anti-tank missile attack. Attention in Israel has been shifting to its northern border as the showdown with Hezbollah has again intensified. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that troops that have been fighting in Gaza may be redeployed to the north. Israel and Hezbollah have both said they're prepared for a bigger conflict if necessary, with the Israeli military recently saying that it has a plan in place.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher. The European Union slapping new sanctions on Russia over the war in Ukraine, targeting Moscow's shadow fleet of tankers moving liquefied natural gas through Europe, as well as several private companies. News and analysis at townhall.com. Top golfer Scottie Scheffler shrugs off climate protesters on the 18th hole, beating Tom Kim and winning the Travelers Championship in Connecticut.
Protesters throwing coloured flares invaded the 18th green at the end of regulation play, delaying the final putts of both Scheffler and Kim. After a lengthy wait while the protesters were arrested, the 22-year-old Kim managed to regroup and made a 10-foot tying birdie to take the championship to an extra hole, which Scheffler won with a par 4. Scheffler's victory made him the first player since Arnold Palmer in 1962 to secure 6 season wins before July 1. I'm Graham Agars.
Reuters reports that Boeing could face criminal charges for allegedly violating terms of a settlement with the Department of Justice, a settlement over a couple of deadly airplane crashes. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelers and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday to you.
It's an oxymoron.
I know, but at least it's summer.
It's so funny. My daughter has taken a interest in Garfield, and all things Garfield.
Okay.
So like
Did you just see the movie or something?
Yeah, we went and watched the movie, and so she's got she's been watching Garfield and Friends, the old TV show that I used to watch when I was a kid. It's kind of a cool little thing we can bond over.
Compare notes.
But see which ones she likes, which ones I like. But she's also recently developed a disdain for Mondays. Yes. Waking her up anytime on a Monday,
taught her that she
just goes, oh, Mondays. I'm like, you are 10 years old. You are not allowed to be this bitter.
And it's summer. Your Monday's the same as Saturday.
Exactly.
Your Monday's the same as Saturday right now. This is not the time to develop a hatred for Mondays. You gotta wait till you're like at least have a job.
It's funny to me how there's certain things that I learn that I'm like, there's no way my parents ever knew this information. Like today, I'm on Facebook and I see a post and I'm like, I've never thought about this. But it said, as the temperatures get warmer, a reminder to parents, don't buy your kids blue bathing suits. And I'm like,
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
I own a blue bathing suit. Should I get rid of it?
And here's the thing. I looked it up. It's lifeguards have urged parents to not buy blue bathing suits or to stop buying blue bathing suits because since the pool's blue, it makes it harder for the lifeguards to see the kids or to see if there's a problem.
How many years now we've had swimming pools and lifeguards and swimming, and now in 2024 they're saying don't wear. That is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But then I'm like, well, then why don't we just stop making blue bathing suits?
That is just the
why
dumbest
is the
thing.
onus on me to
That
not?
is one person who smoked probably too much weed one
No,
night had
it's
a thought.
It's a huge thing online. Like there's a whole movement.
Well, it's because people are rubes and they'll just believe anything that someone says. And just one rube did this and got the whole rube collective together and said, that's a good idea.
It does make logistical sense because, like, from the perspective of a lifeguard tower, if you're looking at a sea of blue, that being said, the life jacket I put my son in is blue. And it's the one that the aquatic center has.
I'm speaking from a male brain here.
Uh-huh.
So my answer is going to be male brain oriented.
Okay.
Most of the people in the pool that are men, you don't see the bathing suit anyway because it's underwater. You see their head, you see, and quite frankly, I'm thinking that's what the lifeguards are looking for. This is some soccer mom ideology garbage that somebody came out with, and now two soccer mom thought it was a good idea, and now soccer moms across the land are sharing this garbage to people. It don't make no difference.
I agree.
That is just dumbness that some idiot on a late drinking binge thought of, and people caught fire with it.
My thought is, I mean, sure, if that's the thing, then stop making blue bathing suits. But also, get a better lifeguard. If you're telling me that the lifeguard who's sitting on the tower can't see my kid in a blue bathing suit, we need better lifeguards.
I'm just thinking vision this should be something they check out on people that are doing lifeguarding duties.
Put it this way. You don't want me on a lifeguard tower.
Like
Please, on a lifeguard tower.
Before they hire pilots to see if they can see, that's one of the things they check out on. And maybe that's something you should do with a lifeguard too. If you have a problem delineating people versus water because they have a blue bathing suit on, even though they've got pasty white or brown or black skin that's more prevalent than the bathing suit of which they're wearing, even if it's a two-piece, most of it's still underwater. I mean,
Blind Bill always did want to become a helicopter pilot. But yeah, and the other thing is, there's a rule at pretty much any aquatic center or place I've been is I'm going to stay within arm's reach of my son because he can't swim on his own yet. So he's in a life jacket. So I'm within arm's reach of him at all times.
Yeah, but I get that too because we also grew up in a time where we were latchkey kids. And sometimes when you're 10 or 8 and, you turn the kid loose and the kid's running around 10 at 8 all over the pool. Mom and dad may be sitting in a lounge chair reading a book over in the corner, but the kid's off doing stuff with their friends or whomever there at the pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get both sides. But yes, when you have a kid that's learning to swim or is a very novice swimmer, most parents are usually within arm reach of that kid while they're swimming.
Exactly. So it's not, I mean, I wouldn't think it's that big of a deal. But yeah, there's a nationwide movement.
To me, that is people have nothing else to think about the rest of their day, and this is what they come up with. These are first world problems.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I lived on this earth 51 years, and I'm pretty sure in the thousands of years prior to me coming on it, no one was thinking, man, these blue bathing suits are a real problem.
This has really been a problem for us.
Yeah. This is the most ridiculous, stupid overthinking I've ever heard. And that's exactly what's wrong with this world today.
But again, it's a new thing that and what really bothers me...
They just love to be worried about everything.
What bothers me about it is it's always presented like, well, obviously every parent just knows this. It's like, no, I would never have thought of that.
These are the people that say we should make hot dogs shaped differently because you could choke on them if you eat them too fast.
Right.
You got to tell people. This is getting to that point. And this is why I'm the big fan of thinning the herd. I'm like, you let people do what they want, the rest will work itself out. The whole cliche about taking the safety labels off. I'm in that camp.
It would save so much box space.
If we got to tell people not to blow dry their hair in the tub, maybe we should just let them do it. Go ahead. If you're dumb enough to whiz on the electric fence, then you're going to learn a lesson today, aren't you?
It's like the old, I think it was Louis C.K. bit, of course, but maybe, where he's like, Of course, children with nut allergies should be protected and kept away from peanuts at all times. But maybe we expose a generation to peanuts and peanut butter, maybe we won't have people allergic to peanuts anymore.
Yeah. I just don't remember ever in my life where we had to clear flights because there was a bag of nuts on there.
Right?
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, come on. How ridiculous is society gets.
I got to deboard because some nut sack on the plane.
And I get it. Yes, people have things and all that, but we don't need to alter the world for one person. That's the problem, is now we've come to this cliche that we've got to alter the entire world for the issues of one.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. You want to help people, make sure they're comfortable, but to ban an entire flight of peanuts because one person has such a nut, you know what? Take a bus. If that's your problem, stop inconveniencing thousands of people and take a bus.
I love that you said an entire flight of peanuts.
People.
Yes, people.
Can't have peanuts.
I just pictured little peanuts sitting in their chairs, some with sunglasses
peanut-shaped head people.
Waterheads.
Yes. That's the elite.
We're trying to bring it back.
Oh, I love that term. It's a very country term because I didn't hear it until I was like growing up. I didn't live in enough country where the term waterhead was used
right
very often. But as I moved to New Mexico, I've heard the term waterhead.
It's become one of my favorites,
and it is one of my favorite words because it gets what you're meaning, but it's not officially on the banned list of words you can call people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it will be soon, but in the meantime, I'm gonna waterhead it up till I get told I can't call people that anymore. But anyway, that's just a slight peel back of my brain.
In case you were wondering how it works.
This is why I don't have a lot of friends. And when they chalk things up to, that's just, I can't wait. That's why I told you, I just want to get old enough where people just let me say what I want. And he's old. Let him go.
80. 80 is officially that age.
I feel like I'm losing it now. Like, now everybody's so, oh my gosh, they want to eviscerate everybody. And it's like, no. Sometimes the thing that no one wants to say, but everyone's thinking, does need to be said.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a time where you said the thing. Yes, thank God that we call them heroes. The people that said the thing sometimes are heroes.
Yeah.
I get it. There's always a case in point where it's not a good idea. However.
Sure, pick your spots. Maybe city council meeting wasn't the perfect spot to express yourself.
Sometimes you need those moments to make change happen the way you want it to happen. People might get up and, I can't believe they did it, but then they come back and, he's not wrong. We need to get back to the he's not wrong phase of life again, where, yes, someone said it and everyone's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, but maybe we should look into what they're saying. I take it our guest isn't here? All right, very good.
I was thinking about it. He came in the week that you were gone.
Well,
so it could have been we had it flip-flopped on.
No, because I texted him afterwards last week, and he said, "You got a spot?" And I said, "Yeah, he has this one." Yeah. He said, "Great, see you then." So
okay,
that was post-trip. So that I do screw up a lot of things, but this one I don't think I did.
Oh, I didn't think you did. Screw up.
No, I generally go, where did I screw up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I tend to do that. I had to have a licensed therapist tell me to stop doing that.
Problem is, when I don't do it, I end up getting in a bigger hole.
Yeah, so because it turns out it was my fault. And now I'm non-apologetic, so, well.
Yeah. Or even if I am right, I get to a point where I just say things where I'm no longer right no more.
It just...
You know what I mean?
It doesn't
matter. You're just old man yells at cloud. That's what I turned into.
Right. There's not even anybody in that room. He's just sitting there yelling at nothing.
Oh, I'm a big proponent of yelling at nothing. That's how I deal with life. When you say things to me, I'm nice to you, and then I walk away. I'm like, "You dumb SOB, what do you do?" That's how my brain works.
A single man sitting at a bar talking to himself is a great way to clear out an entire airline lounge.
He speaks from experience.
Especially if you're not saying words. I like to use a lot of the words that were used in cartoons growing up.
He's on his way.
He is en route.
Should be there in 5.
All right.
Assuming that's minutes.
Sandwiches.
5 p.m. tonight.
He'll be here in 5 sandwiches.
Or 5 p.m. or 5 hours. So, I'm assuming 5 minutes. But yes, Elliot will join us here in just a few and talk sage home buying advice as he does always there. So
get you all informed.
Absolutely. By the way, as we continue here into week 2 of the fires in Ruidoso, we're starting to see some containment numbers. It's not necessarily the top story anymore. It's starting to fade into the lexicon of news now. Keep finding ways to support and help. There's going to be lots of people. Obviously, people with affluence. They've probably got, they're back in their homes in Texas or their family, but now the people that lost everything in the fire, folks that don't have resources to go live at and stay at, for the next however long it takes to get whatever their homes or assemblies back to now we got the people that don't have those resources. So now more than ever, it's more important to keep supporting the places you are supporting.
Right.
If you have issues with what's going on, Red Cross and all that, fine. I invite you to go support instead the Gonzales Hope Center, Food Not Bombs, those organizations like that. That money is going directly into people. They're every night they're out and about at various locations helping, either providing with toiletries and food and things like that, or resources to get cars fixed, places to stay, whatever needs are needed. They are out trying to meet those needs for
Uncle
whomever and whenever.
Suds has been offering free laundry services.
Yeah, and so
lots of people have
businesses
stepped up,
that are offering continue to do that,
doing the thing that they do for a living as an offering to help out the folks that need
absolutely
it.
Whatever your sphere of help is, continue to support and support
I've
the things
offered, if any evacuees need a spot done, a commercial,
not a big demand, is there?
I'll be glad to help, but in any way possible. But you have to go through Thomas first. But I'll be glad to make it happen for you.
And you got to pay for it. But
it's really hard to offer your expertise when your expertise is telling people that now is the best time to buy.
Best we got is we can offer you an egg in this trying time. That's about what we got.
Honestly,
and a bad joke.
This is the best thing we can do, is being here to relay the information, let folks know that there are resources available, and sharing when it's shared with us.
Absolutely, and just be a conduit from resource to resource as best we can.
That's what my daddy always used to say, son, you're going to be a conduit someday. I didn't know what it meant until right now.
Conduit all the time.
I just looked at him at the time. You're a weird guy, Dad. You're a weird guy.
You're starting to make me think of Harold and Kumar again. I need to stop. But yeah, keep doing your thing. Keep because even though the headlines are we're starting to get containment, there's still tons of people that need help right now, and some hopefully a lot of folks can start heading back to Ruidoso, and hopefully most of them are finding property still there and things. Obviously that's not going to be true for everybody because there were I don't know the final tally, but upwards of 1,400 structures have burned because of these fires, and I think that was a few days ago. I'm sure the numbers are a little bit higher than that. So, it's time to pick up the pieces
now's the rebuild
and get back to life going on here. But like you said, if you're not prepared to live on your own for a week at least in Ruidoso, probably don't go back yet.
Right.
They're saying they're letting people back to the homes and to things, but resources aren't available. Things like
at this point, it's just to assess, call your insurance companies, take pictures,
do what you got to do to see if you can. But if you are planning to live back in the homes, be noted that some neighborhoods and some things may not have power, may not have water, may not have internet, may not have access to supplies, i.e. groceries, fuel, things like that.
Right.
So bring it in with you. And they're telling people, anticipating a week's worth of those kind of supplies so you can live without resource for a week up there.
So you're saying Schlotsky's Saturday is off then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you may or may not, some of the restaurants that can be open are, but quite frankly, I'm thinking a lot of them are servicing firefighters.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of posts
rescue workers, things like that.
About diners and places that are open to a very limited capacity.
Yeah.
are just kind of using their like outdoor grills.
But if you're
and
up there
stuff
to go on vacation or to just nose around, or if you're not a permanent year-round resident to Ruidoso, they're telling people, those folks, to stay away.
Yeah.
Just permanent residents at this point.
Yeah.
So. Elliot is going to join us from Lone Depot here in just a few. But while we're waiting for him to show up, let's go ahead and take a look at that weather. Hot is what we got.
Yep.
There is chances of rain later this week. Looks like Ruidoso, I think, I'm not an expert, but just reading what the National Weather Service saying, I think weather this week is going to be favorable for firefighting efforts.
Good.
There's pretty much rain chances every day. Winds, the most I've seen all week is 5 to 10. But it shouldn't be a windy week for the folks. At least that's what the forecast is saying.
Good.
This first half of the week, they're looking at like 20-30% chances of rain. By midweek, by Wednesday, Thursday time frame, those chances bump up to like 70% chance of rain again. So I think, again, I'm no expert. I think these are favorable conditions. So we're going to start seeing those containment numbers grow this week as those percentages get higher, which is all wonderful news. So hopefully we are now in the, as we still fight the fires, we're starting to shift into recovery efforts.
Right.
And
now we're rear view and assess.
Getting life back to normal. Obviously, you've heard on the news, the national news, the FBI is out and about looking for...
Yeah, I just heard FBI was involved. I was like, wait, FBI?
Yeah, they're looking for information. They do believe this is an arson-based started fire at this point. They've now officially shared that with the public. I know a lot of people have been speculating, talking for a week now, but over the weekend, they've kind of officially said, yeah, we believe it's man-made, and we believe there's some people that are involved, and I'm sure they've got ideas, but they are looking for more information and trying to build the case and get not only the suspects they think, but all parties involved.
It's not funny by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to imagine whoever's responsible looked and went, oh crap.
I would imagine.
It got
part of the group
way
or whatever,
out of hand.
And you were like, and at the end of the day, was this, because I've heard all kinds of stuff. I've heard everything from disgruntled hotshot employees, firefighters to other things.
Yeah.
Nobody knows for sure. And the ones that do probably aren't very willing to share that information.
Right.
So at this point, everything you hear is speculation and stuff, but they have come out and say that they do believe this they are looking for people of interest on why this fire started. So
let us not jump on the toxic gossip train.
Well, and I've heard so much, and there's so many things that have people spread, and yes, there's like this one modicum of accuracy there, but then everyone else injected. It's like Congress. They start a bill, and it sounds good, but then other Congress people start tacking on their bills, and now it turns into what was something that started as good, turns into complete crap show.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's how information gets
it all gets porked up.
Yeah. So
turns out it was just Miss Wilson's cow.
Right.
No, that was Chicago.
I just had too much Tallulih's hot sauce and let her rip, and next thing you know, half the forest on fire. Didn't know, whatever. It is 9:26. If Elliot's not here, he will be here momentarily. So let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot temperatures for the next couple of days. We have high pressure over the area for now and a low pressure trough just east of the New Mexico mountains. We'll be up around 100 for the afternoon high today. Lots of sunshine. Mid-70s and clear for the overnight hours. 100 to 105 for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny. We do have a slim chance of a shower Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 82 degrees here in Roswell, with humidity at 40%. Winds currently out of the south, 12 miles per hour. Sunny and a high of 100 expected today for us folks here in Roswell. South winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear tonight. Expect an overnight low of 76 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny. Highs near 105 tomorrow with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, they have tacked on a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 77 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, we're looking at a 30% chance At afternoon, showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, and 102 for a high. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night before midnight, mostly cloudy and 75. 20% chance of rain on Thursday, partly cloudy, 100. 20% chance of rain Friday afternoon, partly cloudy, 103 for the weekend. A 30% chance of rain on Saturday, mostly cloudy, and 98. 30% on Sunday, partly cloudy, and 95 for a high there. All right, 9:28. We're going to take about a 4-minute break, and then Elliot with Lone Dupo is going to join us. We'll have a great conversation, as always, with him. That's up next. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Is your old car, truck, or SUV on life support?
Clear.
With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months and no payments until Labor Day. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at RoswellFord.com. 1515 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell has a great sense of timing, like bringing out Southern Blackberry Cobbler ice cream in time for summer. Rich ice cream with luscious blackberry flavor combined with flaky pie crust pieces and a blackberry swirl. The perfect summertime treat.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Smokey's Country Market in Capitan and all Farmers Country Markets.
Are you looking for something fresh, or are you trying to find that confident smile you once had? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and I would like to invite you to our office to experience a new kind of dentistry. We have the most advanced technology and a highly trained team to provide you the best experience possible. Whether you're looking for a bright new smile or just want to make sure everything checks out for the best, call us today and set up your appointment for your next great experience.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:32, and joining us in studio this morning from Loan Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How's life in your world this morning?
It's beautiful outside, you know.
Weather's nice.
Kind of rushing here for a minute, but besides that, doing good, staying busy.
Good deal.
We're doing a lot of stuff for the community, so
Sure.
it's been pretty interesting for the past month or so.
Well, I know, in the how long you? It's been about 2 years now with Loan Depot.
2.5.
2.5.
It's like it was like yesterday, you know.
And I know, really, and since you've, in essence, brought Loan Depot to Roswell, kind of that's how there was no Loan Depot branch in Roswell till you got on board here.
Mm-hmm.
You really done a great job of just singing that name and preaching the name of Loan Depot. Of course, Kim and I happen to have a Home Depot loan before you even went over to Loan Depot, so I was kind of familiar with their, and really just explaining to this is a company that now is one of the largest loan companies in the country.
Yeah.
But it started very grassroots, and it started with a plan of basically money people that were sick of the game and how the game's played, and they said, well, we're going to create our own lending firm and create our own rules for lending, and it's took off like gangbusters, and it's evolved to where the original concept was of years ago.
Yeah, it just became bigger and bigger.
But the mindset of how they operate and how they work is kind of the best of both worlds now, where yes, you've got Elliot right here, a phone call away, in your, if you need to see him today, we can make that happen, where at the same time, if you need the offerings that the large lenders can offer because of the numbers in which they do business, this is why it's cheaper to buy things at Walmart than it is in a mom and pop store. When you buy in volume, you tend to get discounts. It's no different.
That's true
in the lending world. The big boys do have perks that the little boys don't get. And with Loan Depot, it's kind of, you get the little boy mindset with the big boy offerings, if that makes sense to people.
Correct.
And that's what, really the last 2.5 years you've been kind of saying, look, I'm right here. I'm there. I can do all the things that like local service provides. But when you need the strength and abilities of a major national company, that's what's in my back pocket to help you do what you got to do.
Is it like that? It's like that little thing on the show that says, we got the time. We got, what is it? We got the knowledge. We have the know-how. We have the know-how. We can do it. Loan Depot is a great company.
Yeah.
Okay. And I did a little homework before I actually joined them. So,
like you said, you've worked for a lender too over the years. So you all that is your gathering of experience and knowledge base, and you see the good and bad, the ugly of the lending world. You've been a part of it.
Both. Mm-hmm.
You've been a part of it. You've seen it from the other side, and so your experiences said of all the stuff that's going on out there, this is a company that truly is invested in the people they're giving money to, not to meet quotas, numbers, and appease the stockholders.
I mean, folks, I've been blessed. I've been in great companies, okay, and done really good jobs for people. And I mean, that's like we talk about it all the time. It's like my root, a customer service, provider, to try to help everybody. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I almost want to use some of like the Obama's quotes. It's like nobody left behind kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Cliches, but they work.
It's very true. It's very true.
Absolutely.
We want to help everybody.
It's a cliche because that's a belief. You know
exactly.
what I mean? The stereotype becomes a stereotype because a lot of people did it.
And folks, we are still the second largest lending company in the United States that is not a bank.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that is a huge deal.
Well,
okay?
and it's because, and to be honest, it's a big feather in the cap because when you're a bank, you automatically have a customer base. Like everybody that in essence has money sitting in your account, whether it's a savings account or a checking account.
They're your prospects.
That's an inside track on them. Whereas you don't have a bank with a bunch of people saying, I've got $1,000 in my Loan Depot bank account, because that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And so,
I will look forward for that. That'd be kind of good to have.
Yeah, who's to know what the future
you
brings?
Never know.
And so by default, every person that comes to Loan Depot for money is someone you had to prospect or they came to you.
Exactly.
Whether by reputation or whether it was Elliot's reputation or Loan Depot's
A
reputation.
referral, you name it, you know.
They're doing business because of reputation, because they treated people well and the people that work for them treat people well and do it. And so they have to, they're doing something that other banks may not have to do because they don't need you like they need. Like Loan Depot is going. I mean, and that's just straight truth.
Let me tell you
they have to
something
dangle the carrot a different way.
I know, something that is very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, since even before I came to Loan Depot, but mainly more when I even came to Loan Depot, I tend to get some of the flow of like, oh, I went there, they didn't take care of me. I went there, this fell apart. And folks, I've been saving a lot of deals and helping people. Not because I twist the rules or do anything kind of wicked. No, it's just we have different tools. We can go farther. We can
you have a mindset at Loan Depot where the end game's different. Like you go to a bank and they're saying, we'll be happy to lend you money if this, and this are met. If they're not met, good luck to you. Loan Depot's kind of like, sure, we would love if you had this, and this met, but you don't. Let's find a different way.
Exactly.
Maybe we can do it this way. They're going to say, okay, you don't meet the textbook criteria. Let's think outside the box to get. Whereas a bank, that juice isn't worth their squeeze.
Yes, I mean,
they're like, I ain't got time for that. We'll move on to the next
true.
one who's already got their ducks in a row or
Very
whatever
true.
you want to call. And so,
and sometimes I'm like, why that's not working again? Because I was like, I mean, even from where the places that I have worked, I
Sure.
always believe of learning everything.
Sure.
So like what we call, like overlays, it means rules on top of other rules. Okay. Because folks, a lot of banks and a lot of lenders actually have those rules.
Sure.
Because they don't want to take some risk that other places will probably take. And the fact of the matter is, we basically go by HUD, FHA, guidelines. To be honest. Okay.
Sure.
So we're not doing nothing outside the box that is supposed to.
You're just
returns.
making the juice worth the squeeze.
Exactly.
To where other people don't want to touch that because it's too much work.
It's too much work.
Too much headache.
Yeah.
But here's the thing they're not realizing. And this is where and this is why I kept telling people, Elliot loves working with first-time buyers and everything. Because you're setting a business plan, and this is what Loan Depot does as well, too. We're going to build a customer that if a customer comes to us and it's a struggle to get them a home, like they don't come in with perfect credit and perfect numbers and perfect things and probably been told by 2 or 3 people, I ain't got time for this, get your credit up and then we'll talk. Whereas Elliot comes in and says, you know what, the way the numbers stand right now, we can't do anything. However, do this way because of this thing. Come see me in 6 months and guess what? And you know what? Call me for updates and plans and say how it's going. Let's, that you work with people that if the recipe isn't right now, you sit down and let's get the recipe right. Whereas these other banks and lenders like get the recipe right and will come talk to me. Elliot's like, get the recipe right. This is how you do it. Are you willing to make a sacrifice here? If you are, then we can get you in this much quicker. If you're not, then we're going to have to do it this way.
And even sometimes it's actually easier than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have a deal right now, folks, that an agent brought them back, to me and say, hey, this is falling apart. They're saying no to this, and that. And folks, to be honest, after I looked at it, it's like my response is, I don't know what the heck in God's name they're looking at. Because I'm looking at it and there's no real true problem here.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes it's like you're saying,
Sure.
that they don't uncover all the stones.
Sure.
And I come from an island, boys, and guys over there, because I had gone fishing.
Sure.
And I go fishing for fish and for crabs and everything. You have to uncover the stones to find the stuff.
And you've been
okay?
enough times where you know where the potential pitfalls could be, and vice versa. Like when someone does,
I've seen it
it's
all.
like, and, you try to give them a reason. It's like, be honest with me, because at the end of the day, the good and bad, the ugly here, I can fix it all if I know it up front. It's the moments that you said, oops, I forgot I owed $10,000 to so-and-so or $100 to so-and-so, and that's what's screwing up the loan
and folks,
here.
I'm like an attorney. I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come to me, just tell me everything. And trust me, I'm in your side.
Well, this is what happens when they look at your credit scores. They're taking all your debt, your credit, your ratios to that. And at any time you filled out a credit application or did anything like that online, there is a history and a record of that, and that's all the variables for your credit. Yeah, the rules on how a credit rating is established is probably not different now than it was, say, 20, 30 years ago. There's a lot of different variables. So even for quote-unquote seasoned folks, you look at your credit scores, how it was compiled in your prime days may not be the same today as how that's done.
And sometimes, just being blunt here, right? Bold right here. Sometimes the people that you may be dealing with don't care much enough.
Sure.
I'm sorry to say it that way, because sometimes maybe the loan is not very big. Okay, so they don't have the time to deal with it,
and that's basically what you got.
And that's sad. But in the end of the day, I want to take care of everybody. I don't care if it's $85,000 purchase.
Sure.
I mean, if you need help, we're here to help you.
Well,
okay?
and that's where you can have the conversation, especially with the first-time buyers, when you say, I hear what you're wanting, but guess what? It's so much easier to get there when you have a house, when you have something that you're investing yourself back into. You want to drive the $700 a month car payment? You want to spend $7 for a cup of coffee every day? God bless you. But guess what? Those things hurt you getting your foot in the game in the house. And guess what? You get the house, even if it's not the house of your dreams, but every time you make a mortgage payment, a portion of that's going back to you instead of whoever owned the property to begin with. You're building.
You're working on you.
Exactly. So you're thinking, oh, yeah, I want that lifestyle. Guess what? You know how you get there? By having a solid foundation, making your house payments on time, building that equity, building that credit. And so when the time comes, when now all of a sudden that home that you paid $75,000 for, but you're really wanting the $300,000 house, guess what? You start paying into that 4 or 5 years. Next thing you know, you might have 25, 30, 50 grand in equity there.
And sometimes knowledge and experience make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you, folks, when I have seen deals that other folks out there are telling, no, you can't go there. And again, I go with the why?
Yeah.
Because if you do this and you do that, or if we can prove this, you can. Okay, so it's I think people are being cut short. Okay, and that's just it's sad that it's happening, but it's still happening. Okay, you come to us, we're gonna take care of you.
Yep.
And my staff, I got 2 new guys. Okay, I got my guy Luis Gonzalez. Okay, and then I got JC. Jonathan, but he goes by JC. Okay. I love that name, and that's my new guy. So we have a team in place here in town locally.
Yeah.
And we will take care of you.
And these are all guys that Elliot's kind of grooming with his knowledge.
From the bottom up, to be honest.
Yeah, and basically showing them the ropes the correct way. And this is where I get what you're coming from, because sometimes when you bring in new people, if they come from other places, it's like golf. A golf pro rather teach someone that's never picked up a golf club before versus someone that's whacked a golf ball around all their life, because they haven't had a lifetime or years of bad habits formed up and things they got to break and build. And it's kind of in this world where you get people kind of fresh out of college or fresh out of whatever preliminary stuff they're doing. You can go in and say, I know what they tell you here, but this is what gets results. This is how, the melding of knowing the X's and O's and the numbers with the melding of knowing humans and how humans think and act. And if you can figure that out, then the number part you can figure out. And that's why I always talk about houses. And why, if your end game is, I want to have the Armani suits, I want to have the Bugatti or high end car, I want to, guess where all that starts? It's not starting by buying an Armani suit or buying a Bugatti.
No,
it starts with buying your first house and building your nest egg, and then playing it, make your payments, building up equity,
let me tell you
building
something.
up credit.
I've been watching a lot of stuff about people becoming rich and all that, lately.
Yeah.
So, folks, I guess I want to be rich.
Well, I would guess anybody in the
No,
loan,
you know what? If you're in the
drive.
right mind, you should be wanting to be better, okay? And I was just watching that movie, Kingdom of Heaven, about becoming, like a perfect knight kind of deal. I used to make that jokes like becoming a perfect lender. Folks, it's not an easy thing to do, okay?
If it was, everybody would be one, right?
Everybody would. But that's my goal, to be the best of the best, to be the lender of choice.
Sure.
And one of those things is knowing all the ins and outs of everything, so you can actually truly help everybody.
Absolutely.
And if you can do that, the sky is the limit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where the advantage of is you're studying, you're constantly and let's face it, there's always the financial world is like the medical world. The moment there's a standard practice, someone's figured out a new way to slay the dragon. There's
Always.
no procedure for doing that.
And you're right what you're saying. And those people that wanted to wear all those very expensive stuff, they didn't start it there.
Yeah.
They sacrificed everything
The ones
in the
that
beginning.
didn't do it very long.
Yeah, and they sacrificed everything in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that it's very difficult to make your first $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And folks, it's very difficult.
Yeah. Well,
but then in the end of the day, when they're saying is after you make your first $1 million, then the second $1 million is what? A lot easier.
It comes in. Yeah. It's once your foot's in the door,
Exactly.
it's a whole lot.
It's the same thing with houses.
Look at like Metallica.
There you go. That's a good
Metallica is a ginormous name industry. They've got their own trucking company. Those guys don't need money for anything. But when Metallica started, those guys literally were eating bologna sandwiches, staying in a garage in the alley, having not 2 nickels to rub together. If you want to be the Bugatti people, you have to eat the bologna sandwiches
you have to
and
do
the thing
sacrifices.
while you get the thing there. And that's just how life works in this country. And this is what the beauty of capitalism in our country is. If you are willing to bust your hump, you will succeed.
That is
if
very
you do
true.
it, you will. I guarantee it.
And folks, buying a house is very similar. If you follow my lead, you do what I ask you to do. I'm not going to tell you to break the law and cut some corners. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you follow my lead, you'll be part of the list of all the people that I have been able to help in the past.
Absolutely.
And we'll do that for you. One thing that I give you, my word is my bond. Okay? Obviously, I cannot never guarantee no loans because there's so many different factors that I do not
And at the
control.
end of the day,
yeah.
people above your pay grade make the ultimate decision
Well,
on
it's
what's
not
signed
only,
off on a
it's
loan.
not only that. One thing that I have learned throughout the years, if I tell you could do a loan, guess what? You could do a loan.
Sure.
All right? Because
you know the rules.
I know the
and
rules.
You know what they will accept and what they
trust
won't
me,
accept.
I go 12 rounds with any underwriter, especially when I'm talking about income. Oh, my God. You have no idea. A lot of people getting paid so much different now that they used to. This is not the 40 hours things anymore.
It's a lot more contract work.
It's a lot of different stuff. I mean, shift, work, all kinds of different stuff.
Sure.
And the fact of the matter is, out there's a lot of lenders that don't know how to deal with that. Okay. One of the things that I've been blessed is I'm a number guy, and I pay attention, and I won't cover the stuff. I'm not saying I will never make a mistake, but in general, in my book, in my office, if there's a mistake, that mistake gets fixed right away.
I would imagine, and this is where I'm going to use my sports brain a little bit here, and I would guess this is maybe a comparison of what you're talking about. If not, please tell me.
Sure.
But it's kind of like old head base or sports fans or old versus more newer stuff. And what I mean by that is look at the movie Moneyball, where you got a lot of people in this mindset of, well, it's more than numbers that find a player. It's their and the Moneyball is like, no, pound for pound, you do the math here and everything else, and you saw the results there, and so it's kind of loosely in that world where I imagine you've got old school lenders like, no, the tried and true way is this and this and
And
this.
that's very true.
And then you're coming and saying, no, the numbers are different now. There's many ways to analyze and use numbers, and therefore the criteria you're using based on whether they're reliable or not is not accurate or reliable because some of the methods that people do things now were things that you considered questionable or not foundational to give.
And that's truly the case. You know? And one of the things that I'm implementing and what I'm doing is that's the reason why I'm trying to hire new people, because that's the new generation.
Sure.
Let's be honest.
Let them evolve into what they're actually going to be.
Exactly. And then if you introduce old school to it, come on, you have the right mix.
Well, and that's right. There's a time and place. The foundational, traditional stuff of old school, it's always there because that's what it is. It's kind of like, we talk about music, and we live in a world nowadays where you don't have to know music to make music because a computer will do for it.
I know,
but
right?
the truly gifted musicians are the ones that understand why the music does this way, the notes and everything else.
Correct.
So to be at the best at it, you got to know the foundational stuff. But you can get your foot in the door and learn that along the way now, and that wasn't the case back then. And so you have to adjust for that.
And folks, if somebody's telling you no, you cannot buy a house, maybe you should be talking to me and one of my guys. You know, and so we can uncover all the stones and figure out why you cannot buy a home. So if I have a few customers that they cannot buy a home like right away, right now, today, I don't just say, sorry, see you later. I tell them, I give them a plan, and I tell them what to do so they can accomplish that dream of owning a home.
Let me educate you a little bit.
Yeah, because let me tell you, there's so many ways. Like we have always said it here. We empty the box, fold everything nice and neat, put it back in, and you'd be surprised how much room you still have.
Yeah.
Okay? It's knowing and doing the right thing. It makes a big difference, folks. And first-time home buyers, there's no longer this. Okay? It's not only first-time home buying, folks. Anybody that owned a home before doesn't mean that if you're a little broke and you don't have a lot of money or you have not been able to save enough that you cannot buy a house because maybe you sold a house a year ago, 2 years ago, and maybe you don't have enough money. Folks, we got programs to help you even if you're a second-time buyer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, that's just it. Once you have the home, you're in the game. You have something of value, something that people can see tangibly that says this guy does have an investment into the game. Therefore, we can take risks on this person that the first time doesn't have anything equitable to prove that they've done something in the game. And so that's why we tell you it's so important. Even if the house isn't your forever dream home, and guess what? 99.9% of the time when you buy your first home, it is not your forever home or dream home.
And if
is,
it becomes it,
yeah,
who cares?
Yeah,
that's actually even better.
Then you invested time and
then you
money.
truly won. You know,
and then God forbid, 50 years from down the road, you sell it, it's going to be worth a whole lot more than that 50 grand or whatever you paid for it. I'm
folks,
sure.
I have bought houses left and right for the past 25 years, and folks, I had not been short here.
Yeah, well,
Okay?
and you get, that's when you run into those things like my grandparents who bought the house in the 40s and paid like 10 grand for it, and now they sell it today and it's worth $300,000.
I know, right?
Like,
it's like, whoa. They invested on themselves.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And that will happen.
And that's what everybody needs to. It don't matter what's happening in the market. It doesn't matter if it's election year. It doesn't matter if everybody's blowing each other up in overseas or whatever. Folks, you have to live in today, here and now, and take care of you.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to take care of you. And you need to start planning for yourself.
Absolutely.
And not just worry about what everybody else is doing. You need to take care of you.
Trust me, as people that are now in our 40s and 50s, all the things that people told us in our 20s that we should and shouldn't do, and we're now seeing the fruits
They're like,
of that.
oh, yeah, that was right.
You're
It's
seeing
true.
either the mistakes of not doing it or the fruits of doing it.
Let me
in some
tell
of
you
those
something.
things. Yeah.
I'm being blessed that I started fast enough, but I didn't start fast enough
You
for real.
You played catch up for a while.
Oh,
so
I've
you
been
got
playing
through-
catch
yeah.
up for a few. If I would have started like when I was 21, I would have bought a home.
Now that being said,
I really bought a
if
home.
you're in your 30s and you haven't started yet,
It don't matter. Let's do it.
start. You know, granted, you might have to do. You know, it's just like investing. You know, people that get their mutual funds and things. Well, if you're investing late in the game, you've got to take more riskier investments to make bigger money. Whereas
I've been thinking about the same thing because I've been looking into that.
But
like,
if you're
now that
like
I'm older,
yeah. But if you're like 20, you can play it safe and just let it sit there and forget it and keep adding to it. And then by the time you're actually ready to retire, there's a nice nest egg in there that you really didn't have to gamble much to
That
get
is so
to.
true.
But as the older you get, the longer in the tooth you get, the more risks you have to take to get there. And that's what it's about. So that being said, if you're 40 years old and you said, dang, I wish someone would have told me this when I was 20, so be it. Let's do it now when you're 40 and let's get you some kind of do something here and get you working so you aren't 75 and still having to go to work because you
And
have no
folks,
choice.
Folks, if you're 21 years old, actually, let me go farther. If you're like 19 years old, whatever, and you've been working for the past 2 years, okay, and we can prove that, okay, you game.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you, folks, if you're young, you're older, and you have that itch, and you know you should buy a house for you and your family, don't be afraid of it. Okay? Let us tell you and show you what it can be done, and we'll take care of that.
And I guarantee once you have a house, you're going to find
it's a big
everything so
difference.
much easier. You're
Oh,
like,
it's-
wait a minute, this was not hard at all. Why did I was? And you're
Let me
like,
tell you something.
because
My customers, and I know 100% where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You hear the stories and all the nightmares and people this. Oh, that they went to the closing table and it didn't happen. Folks, you know, I knock on wood in here, okay? And no matter which company I've been, that has not happened to me. Okay,
people that plan, people that organize,
we don't do
have
that.
very few emergencies you'll notice in life because they've planned for it. And even those, and it's no different than when you go in any other setting and you go into public and you see the people that are calm and doing things and the people that are going crazy. People that are calm, they've been there, done that, got the T-shirt and planned and organized.
Every time I get a deal that, oh, can you please help us? We were supposed to close last week.
Yeah.
And like this happens, like, how in God's name they didn't notice this thing?
Yeah.
I find it interesting. But, folks, no matter how, if you're young, if you're older, Loan Depot has, what is it? We have the tools, we have the technology.
Sure.
Okay, we really
wherever
do,
you're
folks.
at in life, you can meet.
You
help
can make
them.
it, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a plan, and we'll make it. And we'll make it there for you.
Absolutely.
And like I said, my word is my bond, and I will deliver for you guys if you do what I ask.
Absolutely.
You to do.
And that being said, too, like because we talk about people with credit issues, because that's how most of us. None of us have a perfect. But if you're those folks that have the 800 credit scores,
Even
and
better.
the perfect, even better. There's even more he can offer you. So don't
That
look
is
at
true.
this as like I only help people with issues. He helps everyone. If you've got all your ducks in a row and you're just like, all right, Elliot, let me tell you what I want, and he'll do it. But if it's like, I got this, I want to get, I don't know what to do, then you can help. But either way, so if you've been playing the game for 100 years or this is your first rodeo, let Elliot.
Folks, check me out on Facebook. Let me tell you something. We do first-time home buying programs, and we do repeating, buyers. Okay, and I post all that stuff online.
Okay.
Ask me about Access Zero. Ask me of New Mexico Authority, which is MFA, which is first-time home buying programs. Folks, not because you have a lot of money in the bank doesn't mean you cannot buy a house.
Yeah.
You're paying rent, might as well get you a house, okay? And if you have a lot of money and you don't want to use all that money, that doesn't mean you cannot get these programs. You also can get the programs just the same,
Absolutely.
okay? The government has made it that is fair and equal for everybody to be able to purchase a home. You just have to meet the qualifications for it.
Americans that own a home and are paying their mortgages and everything, they make the economy better. That's
the whole point,
And the your government and everyone else wants you to buy these homes so the economy's good. So when you do vote, you can tell everybody how great they treated the economy. But at the end of the day, it's you doing your thing and utilizing the resources at hand, and that's what makes the economy.
And folks, there's money there to help you. So use it.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely.
So I mean, do you want to be like somebody like, oh, my neighbor next door just moved in, and he bought it and he didn't have no money? Okay, you could do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll give you.
Or
the
maybe
tools.
theirs is even better than what you offered them
You never
because
know.
each case is unique.
Every scenario is different.
Just because this family went this direction doesn't mean your family should go that way.
I
It
got
may not
somebody
be
telling me the
beneficial.
same. It's like,
Yeah,
but they did this, they give you that. It's like, well,
if your credit was here and that was here,
I'll
then
do
we
the
could
same.
do that field. But yours is different there, and so forth. We have to
Everybody.
go this way. And
I hear you.
But I just saw the time, and so reach out to Elliot, give him a call, or check out his website, and let's get you situated here. You can call him direct on his cell at area code 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can call his office here, 505-445-2070. Again, 505-445-2070. His office is here in town, even though the 505 in the case it reels, because he's not always in the office, so sometimes it goes.
I'm all over it, and I'll get the messages.
Yeah, and so he'll get to. You can also, he's got his own webpage that you can check out. Elliot Rodriguez at loandepot.com. He spells Elliot with one L, spells Rodriguez with a Z. So Elliot, Eliot, Rodriguez, Redriguez at loandepot.com, all one word. Or you can shoot him an email. Or I'm sorry, that's the email. The website is www.loandepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, all one word. Elliot Rodriguez at loandepot.com is his website, or his email address. I'll get all these things out eventually, that you could shoot him an email.
It's almost the same. That's why.
Twitter handle or his, No,
whatever. But look me up on Facebook and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And he's got, you can just type in Elliot Rodriguez. He's got his own personal Facebook that he's helping. You can shoot a message to there, and he'll be happy to set up a time or sit down or take care of whatever you need to do there. And, of course, you can always come by his office, 204 West 2nd, and come meet some of his new staff and let them see what they can do to help you get to your next.
Help me put them to work even more.
That's right. There's some young go-getters over there,
Oh,
and they're smart young people, and it's kind of the best of both worlds, because Elliot's like me. He's got a little bit of an older brain, and so those kids come in with marketing ideas and doing videos that maybe aren't on your radar.
We just did the Hot Wings Challenge.
Yeah.
That was
How'd that
funny.
go?
That was fun.
A good deal.
I beat them, though.
Nice. See? They underestimate the old.
Old school still took over.
They don't get the bull story yet.
No, it was fun. It was very, 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 very enjoyable. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's good. But follow along there. And
that was their idea. That was the thing. Then,
see, and that's the young brain coming into the old and new mixing together.
I didn't know the boss was going to do that. I was like, yeah, like, no, I will do whatever you guys throw me at me. I'll show you that I still got it.
Game on. Well, yeah, you got to. You are the big peacock. Sometimes you got to peacock. Just to let the others know. It's just part of the deal. As the older we get, the more we got to peacock sometimes. As always, Elliot, appreciate the visit. We'll see you next time
for having
here.
Me.
Stay safe, and we can't wait to hear more stories of more people finding their first home or dream home. That's a good thing. So,
all right, thank you.
You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News in progress. Have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Fact check comes just days before Biden and Trump are to meet for their first debate of the 2024 election. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A professional lifeguard has died after he was attacked by a shark while surfing off the island of Oahu. 49-year-old lifeguard Tameo Perry died in the attack near Goat Island on Sunday. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Many North American car dealerships wrestling with computer disruptions that started last week.
CDK Global, a company that provides software for thousands of auto dealers across the U.S. and Canada, was hit by back-to-back cyber attacks on Wednesday. That led to an outage that continues to impact a range of business operations. For prospective car buyers, it may mean facing delays at affected dealerships or seeing their orders written up by hand with no immediate end in sight. Rich Thomason reporting.
A Wisconsin judge expected to consider whether to allow people with disabilities to vote electronically from home this fall. Dane County Circuit Judge Everett Mitchell scheduled a Monday hearing for the injunction. The plaintiffs argue many disabled people can't cast paper ballots without assistance, violating their right to